The Centers for Disease Control has sounded the alarm about salt. Specifically, the excessive amount of sodium 9 out of 10 of us consume every day. Many of the chief offenders in this salt overload are not the usual suspects.
You're listening to the Boxing Coalition.
And it just broke the guy's heart. The guy had nothing left, and he knew he couldn't last another 4 or 5 rounds.
Ricky Wars just smashed his soul. What it is, let's get it.
Fuck that, this your chance, nigga. You hear me?
Let's get it.
Go kick his motherfucker.
Get that motherfucker in.
Let's see you do this. Little step back, bang, bang, bang. Little step back, bang, bang.
Bang, 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 bang. Try and stop it. Bang, bang. Here I come. Bang. You want to throw sometime? Bang.
Body shot. Boom, boom, boom. Go to the body. Kill that body. You took his nuts, now you gotta take his heart.
Yeah, take his whole soul away.
Yeah, get out of here, Dale. I'll see you later. Fight some incredible. Get out of here.
He was higher than a motherfucker. I'll tell you, he was stoned as fuck.
No, it's only a majority decision if there was an even score. There's no even score here. You're an official, right? You're an official of the state. Well, then you don't understand how to score. Oh, my God! Unbelievable! The crowd here on Fuego.
He's ready to be whooped, man. He's ready to be whooped. He's ready to be whooped.
Now Acosta has stopped it. Wow, that is going to be controversial.
But you really liked to stand toe-to-toe with him in the 12th round, even if you thought you won the fight. It was on. Did you like that? I love you.
Hello, and welcome to the Boxing Coalition, a place to discuss anything boxing. We have a rotating panel of hosts that consist of Chemo, Mao Alpha, Cam, Daniel Lim, and MV Chu. If you want to have your say, call in on Skype. Just add Box Coalition and get involved in the show.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, Arrigo Boss, Leon, Hamada, and one of the founding fathers of the coalition, my brother Chemo. Hope you guys are well. Firstly, Hamada and Chemo, I want to wish you guys Eid Mubarak over the weekend. Obviously, it was the celebrations, and any of you, our listeners that are Muslims as well, wish Eid Mubarak to them. Let's get into the boxing. A lot of fights this weekend, a lot of shit to discuss, a lot of salt going to be involved. I think we should start in Manchester, my hometown. Chemo, start with you. Scott Quigg, Kiko Martinez. A lot of us went for Martinez last week. What do you think of the fight?
Well, I thought the size would be a factor with Scott Quigg, obviously, when I saw them at the weigh-ins. And, I mean, this guy rehydrates pretty big as well. So I thought he was going to be a lot more physical with Martinez, but I think the number one thing we're going to talk about is that first round. I mean, was that a setup, or was that really just Martinez pushing Quigg on the back foot and Quigg just looking a bit awkward trying to box on the outside, because he wasn't having any success and Martinez was doing a very good job of pressuring him. But that uppercut was a peach, man. That was a fucking nice shot. So he claimed after the fight that it was a setup, that they were kind of trying to draw him in and hit him with that punch that they've been training for. I don't know. I kind of buy it, but
Bullshit.
You think it's bullshit? I don't know, man. I don't know. It was a pretty well placed punch, but you go ahead and argue that.
I'm joking. I'm just that. You don't. That first round wasn't part of the plan. I don't think Martinez landed almost every punch he threw. His face was like red like a tomato. You see how marked up he got just from jabs? I mean, that can't have been part of the plan.
I think it was.
It can't be.
I think it was a kind of bit of both.
Easily.
I think part of the plan was to kind of go on the back foot and maybe just see what Kiko's got. But I don't think he planned to get hit as much as he did, because I agree, like his face, especially his forehead, was reddening and marking up a bit.
I agree with that, Cam. I think you summed it up perfectly. I do think the game plan was just to feel it out a little bit in the beginning and not just go to war with a guy who's an excellent inside fighter and who wants to make it a brawl, you know? So just to feel him out a little bit. But I think Ari's going to make this point definitely that Quigg does not look good when he's trying to counterpunch. I mean, that's one of your main arguments, right, Ari, that I've heard.
Yeah, it's
So
but yeah, no, I've always said that because I've seen it in all his fights. And it's a typical Gallagher thing where most of the Gallagher fighters don't know how to fight going backwards. They don't really have no counter punches or anything like that. But I have to give credit to Quigg. I picked Kiko beforehand, so yeah, of course I need to eat crow. But yeah, that was a brilliant uppercut, man. There's nothing you can really say about it. It was a perfect uppercut. And then he just wailed on him. And Kiko was done. So I see some people saying, Terry O'Connor, because obviously it's Terry O'Connor, he's a cunt, but apparently Kiko had trouble walking back to the changing rooms on his own, so he was done.
He wasn't throwing punches, was he, in that last?
No. No. He was, and he like his feet was planted. He didn't even try to get away. He was just standing there, just eating hooks.
Yeah, Quigg did miss a lot though. I agree.
Yeah,
I think
he was wild.
The stoppage was okay, but like I think Hearn was saying like he threw like X amount of unanswered punches. Yeah, but like fucking 75% of them like missed or clipped the gloves. But yeah, I think the stoppage is alright because like Kiko took a long.
You've got to give him credit though, because no one. Let's be honest. I picked him stopping him in the 7th round with body shots and stuff because I thought Kiko had just done too many miles on the clock. But we didn't see that coming, did we? And who picked that?
I definitely got to give Quigg credit because like I've said it like last year that I thought Martinez would beat Quigg, so I've got to give him props. I've got to eat some crow, but I was impressed with Quigg. It was a bit out of the blue. Like he's never shown that type of kind of destructive attitude before, and to do that to Kiko, like it's quite impressive because no one's really done that. So definitely have to give him his props.
Cam also like he didn't, like Leon said. I personally also expected him to just overpower him with physicality, but he he actually didn't do that. He actually used his technique and just found a gap and just unloaded on him. Yeah, he was a little bit wild when he tried to finish him, but I think he knew that, man. He said that afterwards in the post-fight interview as well that he got a little bit carried away. And even Hearn was getting a bit carried away because he said he hit him with a 20-punch combination, I think, which is fucking bullshit.
But Kimo, how many good finishers are wild? That's how you do it. That's how a lot of fighters finish a fight, isn't it? When you've got your man hurt, you just blitz them, don't you? How many great fighters have done that?
Well, I mean, you got to take your time with it, but I don't think he did anything wrong. I mean, it's not like he went Deontay Wilder on his ass,
No.
Fucking throwing like these wild haymakers from the.
He wasn't doing windmills, was he?
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
All right, can I ask a quick question? I know it's going to be salty, but if the shoe was on the other foot and that was Quigg getting dropped twice in the second round, do you think O'Connor would let him continue after the second knockdown? I think O'Connor would.
You're basically asking if the ref is corrupt.
It doesn't really matter because he would have got knocked out in the next knockdown, I think.
No, I think the ref would have let Quigg continue personally, but
yes, because he got up in time and he, but we don't know how his eyes looked. Again, he couldn't walk afterwards, so he was done. He was really done. In the end, Terry O'Connor did do the right thing because he most certainly would have been like a Walters Darchinian kind of finish where Quigg goes back in and just lands another hook and he's flattened,
Yeah,
because it was a big shot, that wasn't it? It was a big shot.
Yeah,
guys, I don't remember, but did Kiko protest the stoppage? Did he shake his head or?
I thought when he was looking at the ref, and I thought he looked quite clear-eyed, and like he knew where his senses were. Like he was protesting, he was like putting his hands up, looking at the referee, like I'm okay. But he did take a long time to get up, and he did have his back to the ref, like on the nine count. So I think the stoppage is fair. Hamada, what was your thoughts on the fight?
I don't know. I saw a lot of people saying that Quigg was impressive. I didn't see that at all. I thought he was getting beat up in round one. Arguments that could have been a 10-8 round. He was getting beaten up. Martinez was even winning the battle of the jabs. He was out jabbing Quigg. And then he landed that uppercut, which was a good uppercut, but Kiko kind of dipped underneath the uppercut. Not underneath, I mean, he dipped down, because he when he comes forward, he likes to dip down and get low. And he went straight into that uppercut, and then Quigg just let his hands go, and the ref stopped the fight. I thought it was a premature stoppage as well, but after hearing stuff like Kiko was struggling to get to the changing room, I don't think we can complain. really. Because imagine if he did continue, then he might not have even got to the change room. He might have been straight to the hospital. So I can't complain with the stoppage now that I found that out. But I wasn't impressed with Quigg. Honestly, I just wasn't impressed. Yeah, he landed a good shot and he got him out of there early. But still, I didn't see anything new from him. I didn't see anything that I haven't seen from Quigg before.
But you can't see a lot in 2 rounds. Huh? Let's keep that in mind.
That's come on.
It's the quality of the opposition. Yeah. This guy's no bum.
No bum. All I would say is, listeners know I'm not a Quigg fan. They know, but he's finally got a top level win, and that's respect to him. We've been waiting for it for like 2-3 years. He's done it, so that's why obviously his hype is high now. And Hearn's talking a lot, but respect to him, he's done it. He fought Kiko, a former champ, someone that we've seen Frampton fight twice. Frampton never done that to him, but Frampton did beat him up in both fights. But Frampton's never done that to him.
Yeah,
Kiko got destroyed.
I think Frampton's performances were better, especially the second one was much better.
Yeah, but at the same time,
he knocked him out early. But that, for me, I saw Frampton do things that impressed me. Like Quigg didn't impress me. I always knew Quigg's a big puncher. I've always said Quigg's a big puncher. I know Quigg can hurt people if he lands on them. So I haven't seen anything new from Quigg. He didn't impress me personally.
Well, he doesn't need to impress you, does he? If he knocks him out in 2 rounds, it doesn't matter if you're impressed or not, does it? Really, if he can, bang like that. I mean, you can't shit on that fight. I mean, I'm not a big Quigg fan, but no one expected that. No one saw that. Some people did. James Bennett said he picked him inside 4, but no one saw that coming. You can't. That's as good a performance as you could have expected from Quigg. We can't.
Hamada, the thing is, like when you're watching Frampton versus Kiko, I mean, you're seeing a long fight as well. You're seeing Frampton display many different aspects of his game. He's boxing, then he's attacking a little bit, then he hurts him, then he's patient. Like he's showing a lot of different angles to his game. This was a 2-round destruction, so it's kind of like a situation where either you buy into it or you're like, yeah, like if he didn't land that punch, what would have happened? You almost sound like you think it's a lucky punch, kind of.
I think Kiko's done as well, man.
No, you can't say that.
I think his punch resistance is gone, man.
But
the first big shot Quigg landed, he was all over the place. I remember seeing Frampton land bombs on him, and he was still there. Even in other fights, I've seen people land bombs and he was still there. But I don't know, man. Maybe his punches.
That's just after the fact shit, man.
Yeah.
Plus, when I was watching it, I saw he came with only his trainer and a next guy in a suit. I don't think Kiko came to win, in my opinion. I think he turned up for a final paycheck.
I think that's a very harsh assessment for a guy that's a road warrior and that's always come to fight. And look at the way he came out in round 1. He came out like a fucking tank, man.
He came to win.
Yeah, but that's his style of fighting. Obviously, you don't change, innit? But
even at the start of round 2, he came out like a tank. He just got caught with an uppercut.
No, but Hamada, hold on. That's not true,
like
man.
A hater, man.
Hamada, that's not true because Brandon Rios is also a come forward aggressive fighter, but he bitched out against Pacquiao, for example. So you can't say like, just because he's a come forward fighter and he comes forward, then he's just fighting his regular style. That's not true, man. The guy came to win. He was throwing bombs from the first fucking bell, man. I don't think that's a fair assessment, dude. I don't think that's a fair assessment. And the ironic thing is, the pendulum has actually swung in the direction of Quigg now because we're going to talk about that.
No, it hasn't.
We're going to talk about that later, Cam, obviously, but we saw what happened with Frampton. I mean, shit can change in one fight pretty quickly.
It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. But we'll get to that.
Well, one guy has a lot more credit now than we gave him. So I do think something has changed.
You can't just be a top. What is he? Top 5 or 6 in the world in that weight division, Kiko.
Yo, guys.
You can't blast a guy out like that and then just shit on him like that.
We'll come back to this, but I've seen something. Someone sent me a message, and I've just checked a boxing scene. According to TMZ, Mayweather Berto is done for September.
Bullshit.
Who says? TMZ, let's wait for boxing. Oh, no, it's done. Oh, no. It's not boxing at all. I was about to say fuck TMZ.
Fuck TMT, more like.
Fuck anyone. Fuck them all.
Fuck them all. What a bunch of cunts.
Shit, but probably we'll get back to that in a bit now. But there's not much to talk about. It's a shit fight. Maybe that will help.
Well, tell you what it does. You're not TBE if you take that as your last fight. Never to be TBE. You take that as your last fight. Not in your fucking life.
He's ducking Khan, man.
Honestly, some of his ex-misses would have put up more of a fight than this cunt.
Oh, that's low, man. That's low.
No, it's according to TMZ, though. It's not confirmed.
I know, but it's some boxing scene, though. They don't really post shit that's,
Yeah, but they're saying according to TMZ as well.
True. We'll see
who the fuck is TMZ, man? They've never confirmed anything officially, have they?
Exactly, so we can't really,
Didn't they confirm it Brown's sex tape now?
Luckily, that's not a fight.
You know it's done.
It's done, man.
I don't think it's done, man. I think we hear this shit every year. First it was Paul Spadafora, then it was Devon Alexander. He always comes out with these shit names and then he doesn't end up fighting.
No, but Chemo's getting so late, though, Chemo.
So close.
Yeah, but that's the same every time, Cam. We say the same shit every time. I want to see it, man, like when the press conference happens. I don't know if he's fighting Berto, to be honest. Floyd is also clever that he picks guys that are on a roll, like he did the same with Guerrero, even though it's a shit name. Like he kind of picks guys strategically. I'm not convinced that it's Berto, man. I'm really not. It's kind of out of his element, if you ask me. He always has that argument, because he always says like, "Oh, I'm fighting guys coming off a win. I'm fighting guys with a title." I mean, the fuck is Berto doing right?
But let's get back on topic though. Fuck that, man.
All right, let's get back to Quigg. Anyone else got anything on Quigg? Because usually we stick to the Manchester card, but I really kind of want to go over to Frampton, seeing as though he's his biggest rival.
I think it's logical.
Any remaining thoughts on Quigg? No? All right. Oh, go on.
No, wait. Yeah, Joe Gallagher looked happy, innit?
Well, that little, the little ballerina move.
No, actually, you guys need to give. You need to give. Actually, Leon, I think there's a new Sir Joe in town.
What?
Stop it.
We'll come to that later on.
Babe.
Someone's getting cobraed later.
All right. Chemo, Frampton's performance in El Paso, Texas against Gonzalez Jr. What did you think?
Oh, wow, man. I mean, this is one of the times where I thought it was a public execution. I saw that frail Mexican guy standing in the corner, when I switched on the broadcast. And I was like, wow, man, this is going to be fucking brutal. But turned out to be a pretty good fight. The question is, what the hell happened to Frampton? Did he just, did he not really train properly? I heard something about the weight that he said after the fight. I think he had trouble dealing with the range, that's for sure. I think he had to kind of adjust to it. Maybe he started off a little cold as well. I don't know what the issue is with him, man. I mean, once he got going, once he got warmed up, he was doing pretty well. But the guy was still catching him in spots. And he wasn't out of the woods. Even when we were in like the 6th, 7th round, once in a while, the guy was countering Frampton. And I don't know. I think normally Frampton is much more comfortable boxing, but this guy was so tall, so rangy. I think he just had to act more like the pressure fighter and come forward, and that didn't really suit him, man. So there's a bunch of it's like a combination of things maybe that led to a very difficult fight for him. But I'm really wondering what like the core issue was, because I mean we talked about this a little bit as well. If he's really having problems making weight, I find that a bit hard to believe, man. He's not a big guy for the weight.
I can believe it because I've heard it before that he does struggle a bit to make super bantam because he's got a lot of muscle. I think it's because of his muscle base. I think he's got that's what most of the problem is. But I'd say that he needs to stay at super bantamweight because his frame, like you said, he did struggle a bit with the size of Gonzalez, the reach, and his height. And even though featherweights aren't that tall, they're bigger, and there is there's a couple in like that. And I'd say stay at super bantam because he has to really.
Just going to the fight. My opinion is, I just think Frampton obviously he wanted to impress a bit. I think he was just underestimating Gonzalez Jr. a bit, and that first round with those flash knockdowns, I think that just caused a bit of panic in his head. And if you notice for like the rest of the first round, the majority of the second round, maybe the early part of the third round, he was just a bit too over eager. He was like loading up with his punches. He just seemed like a excited puppy that he's been let out the house and he wants to like impress everyone. And after that, when he settled down, he was excellent. He took over the rest of the fight. I think only give Gonzalez Jr. the 9th after that, after the knockdown round. I'll give him the 2nd as well. And I just think Frampton, it's a new experience for him. I don't think he'll want that experience again, though. I think his next fight will definitely be back home in Ireland. And I think the only time again he'll do that is maybe if it's another world title on the line against a big name in the States. I don't think he's gonna want to go to Texas again in like a half-empty arena. That's my opinion.
No, I don't think it'll be Texas, but I think they do plan to go there for St. Patrick's Day, maybe in Boston.
Yeah,
and he should do good sales around that time. I think that's what they said, and that they do plan to have another fight in Ireland, and then maybe go back there. I think for the St. Patrick's. I don't know. Maybe he might fight one more time this year, and then when St. Patrick's Day. That's like March, isn't it? March or February. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll break down the fight. Yeah, I didn't even see. I was still watching the Sky card. I wasn't even going to watch Frampton live. You know, I didn't know that much about Gonzalez. I thought it'd be a Frampton easy win, and then guys started messaging me that Frampton went down in the first round. I switched straight over. I was recording it, so I started from the start, switched straight over. Yeah, I think the first one, yeah, everyone would say that's balance. He looked like his legs were straight, and he just went down from a stiff jab. But none of the knockdowns, he looked hurt.
No.
I think he was cold. He must have been cold. You know, people were saying that he did look a bit cold, and I think at the same time he expected it to be the easy fight, because he was saying before the fight, I remember in an interview saying how he couldn't find that much footage on Gonzalez. Before the fight, they'd taken down a lot of his YouTube videos, so he didn't know too much about him. And, you know, Gonzalez looked like he was there, he was hungry, there for the win, but Frampton adjusted after the first round. I was quite, you know, everyone knows I'm a fan of Frampton, it's just the skills. You know, when he starts getting going, the way he starts using that jab and the way he can switch from offense to defense so quickly is just why I'm a fan, because he's so entertaining to watch. And, you know, I'll go to Quigg really, that I still, even to this day, I still think Frampton still beats him, because it's about styles and it's about levels, where Quigg, we saw in the Kiko fight, alright, it's only one round, but I've always said he can't fight going backwards. So what would he do when Frampton starts getting that jab going on him? I think Quigg's only really got a puncher's chance, where if he can land like a haymaker like that, what he did against Kiko, and you could say from this fight that if he catches Frampton early, that's his best chance. But I say once Frampton gets going, he's got it. But, you know, again, back to the performance, yeah, I like the left hand, that's what really impressed me, Frampton, the variations, the way he can fake a jab, turn into a left, and that's what Gonzalez really couldn't read the left hand at all, the whole fight, really, and that's what Frampton had going for him. And I like the CBS card, the CBS feed, Virgil and Paulie, I think they're just brilliant, really. They're like one of the best in the game right now, the combination of them two, where they know what they're talking about, you know. And when I did rewatch the fight a bit on the CBS, I enjoyed it more than when I watched on the Channel 5. Even though I like Woodall as well. Yeah, I really like the CBS.
It was ITV, and we just discussed this before we started the show, that the ITV commentators were making out the fight was a lot closer than it actually was. And I think the PBC, Paulie and Virgil, I think they were more realistic of how it went. Like when I was half watching, I had the TV and I had like the tablet, and I was kind of watching the Sky card on the TV and the ITV one on the tablet, and from what I was picking up from the Richie Woodhall and the other commentator from ITV was like, you know, Frampton's in a really close fight and he needs the next 2 rounds to make it a bit more comfortable for himself and stuff like that. And I was quite kind of shocked, man, because when I rewatched it properly, you know, with full concentration on the fight, and apart from the first and second round, I thought it was comfortable for Frampton. Leon, your thoughts?
That's them just trying to hype up a close fight, because a close fight's better, you know, for rating, is a better sell, isn't it, than just a one-sided beatdown, which is what, you know, if you take away the first round, that's what that fight was. He won it easy, didn't he, really? I thought. You know, it's difficult when you're fighting on a sponge, but it was yeah, that's the worst round I've seen in box ever, I think. So he had a bad start, but it was pretty easy after that, wasn't it? Yep. He did get hit a bit too much, maybe, but nothing to get too worried about, I don't think.
No, and the variations, like Ari was saying, like the right uppercut, left hook, the hooking off the jab, and then right hand. It's just You know,
he's a very skillful fighter, isn't he?
And the body work as well, man. He was doing a lot of left hook to the body, and yeah, just the movement, man. Excellent. I really enjoy watching Frampton fight, man.
But that to be fair to him, did you see that ring did look very spongy?
It did, but then you
weird.
You can't kind of make excuses. You kind of have to just kind of go with it. Like Frampton did that thing where I don't want to make excuses, but you know, it's a bit spongy and like I struggle with the weight. Like, you know, when you hear that sentence, I don't want to make excuses. There's some excuses are coming. But Hamada, what did you think of the fight?
I thought Frampton looked alright. I mean, he didn't go life and death with this guy, but he did take him to some dark places, especially in the first round. I thought the first knockdown was a balanced knockdown. He was throwing his own punch, and the guy, what's his name? Gonzalez, yeah, threw a jab and caught him, and it knocked him like backwards. It happens in boxing sometimes, you know. It's balanced. The second one was a legit knockdown. It was a right hand hit him on the chin, and his back leg dipped. You know, and it happens. I don't think he was totally rocked or hurt or anything, but
do you think he's hiding glass?
Nah, I don't understand this. Everyone's talking about how Frampton got dropped and etc. etc. Knockdowns it's part of boxing. It happens. Great fighters like Felix Trinidad, Marquez, they used to go down all the time.
Joe Calzaghe
towards the end of his career, especially.
Yeah, but he got back up, didn't he? You know, it's that kind of thing. You got to do it.
There's nothing wrong with getting dropped. It happens in boxing. Not many fighters go throughout their whole careers without being dropped. You know what I'm trying to say? With the exception of Floyd.
Yeah. I say it's worse. Sorry to cut in quickly. I'll just quickly say, I say it's worse when we see people like legs dip, not dip, but like legs wobbling afterwards. That's when you say,
yeah.
Like
Furman
was more hurt last week than Frampton was this week.
Yeah. Frampton looked more embarrassed about his knockdowns.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he's got nothing to be embarrassed about because there was no fucker there, was there?
Yeah, but I disagree with you, Hamada. That second knockdown, I think that was a bit of a flash one. Like, I think Frampton was kind of dipping low and he got caught with the right hand. And when you are dipping low and you get hit, because you're already, like, your legs are already bent, it's hard to kind of keep your balance up. So it was a bit harder than the first one. Sorry?
I thought I saw his back leg dip because of the shot.
I
don't know.
It doesn't really matter.
He was already low because he was like dipping low. You know, I don't know. Maybe he was going to spring up with a left or something like that.
Anyways,
and, yeah,
true.
No, it was a great right hand. And landed flush. You know, it was a knockdown. That's a knockdown, huh?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a knockdown. I just don't think he was that hurt from it, to be honest.
But guys, just hold on.
He took a whole 8 to readjust himself or anything like that. But you know. Happens. But yeah, he showed vulnerabilities. We have to keep it real. He did show vulnerabilities. We didn't really expect it.
Yeah, but that's also what I mean. Just to kind of play devil's advocate, and I'm not trolling here. Like when Thurman gets well, actually he didn't get dropped by Collazo. He just got hurt, and Collazo is a world class fighter. When that situation arises, everybody kind of starts discussing Thurman's quality, but Frampton gets dropped by a fucking nobody. Like we were laughing at this fight twice, and now it's just like, oh yeah, well, you know, like everybody gets dropped, you know, like I mean, for me there's a bit of a double standard as well. I'm not saying that this changes my mind frame about Frampton, but I do think we should take it into account because he got fucking dropped twice by a fucking. I mean, I'm not gonna call the guy a bum because he fought a terrific fight, but his record was absolutely non-existent. He was really young, he was inexperienced. And he was like, what, a 100-1 underdog? Like, I mean, this is not exactly a good sign. And if you look at the comparison between what Quigg did now and how he's come up and what's Frampton done now, I think Frampton really, really needs to shine on his next fight because this shit doesn't look good, despite him coming out on top.
Kimo, that's my next question now. Does Frampton need the Quigg fight now, where before maybe he didn't?
I think he needs it regardless, Cam. I think he's got no fucking business fighting in the United States. I don't think he's really that sellable anyway. I mean, the whole Boston Irish thing, I kind of get it, but he's Northern Ireland, by the way, so I don't really see like that.
He's crossed that. That's covered.
Yeah, but I don't.
I don't. Behind him somehow. I don't know the background of it. But he does seem to have the whole island, and McGuigan is Ireland.
And I think
they all love McGuigan.
I think his wife's the other side, isn't it? So he kind of represents both, but I might be wrong, to be honest.
He's married. He's in a mixed marriage, Protestant Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are we really gonna see him as a ticket seller? I mean, look at the shit that we've seen overseas, man. I mean, it's just absolutely those Belfast shows, man. I mean, they give me goosebumps when I look at it, man.
When he walked into the ring, do you see it? There was about 8 kids there. That's who was leaning over trying to touch his glove. They must have been giving out free tickets for children. It was pathetic. And how is this good for boxing? It makes a product look shitty. It looked like British wrestling from the early 80s. Some dummy cable channel, didn't it?
Big Daddy.
I'll say one thing on it.
It's fucking useless.
Leon, all right. God damn, Leon. All right, calm down. Let me say one thing all week. Leon, Jesus. I'll say Leon. It was in the same arena as Chavez later on. You know, I didn't watch Chavez, but I heard he had 8,000, 9,000 there. So really, they should have had him on the Chavez card. But because they want to have him a good time for us to see him over here, they had him on 4 p.m. their time, or 4 p.m. Eastern, for us, you know. But over there in Texas, I'm sure that's like, I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on it, but I'm sure that's like 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Texas time. So of course there's not going to be that much people there. But that's Heyman's fault. Heyman maybe should have just said, fuck it, put it on the Showtime card and do with it. But he wanted to have a PBC CBS at 4 p.m. Eastern. And that's what happens. You have an arena that's not full, and then the same arena's full later in the day. Ari, I'm not talking about it being in any way Frampton's fault. I'm talking about this is just a general Al Heyman problem. But, you know, he could have done that fight over here and still shown it over there at that time on that channel.
Leon, I just want to say something about this because I really, really believe in this. And when somebody asks me, what is the most atmospheric fight that you've fucking seen over the last year, it's going to be probably Frampton versus Kiko 2 or, you know, I'm going to say one of the Josh Warrington fights. But I think it's a fucking crime to take this guy out of Belfast where you get such an atmosphere. And that's not just for the people there. That's for the TV, man. I'm in the fucking Middle East and I'm watching this shit. And it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable, the crowd and the support. They did this shit in an outdoor stadium, man, and it was freezing and everybody still showed up. You know, like, it's
outrageous. It's
outrageous, and I think it's a crime. I really think it's bad. You know, you can't do this shit, man. Like you take the guy from fucking Belfast and you put him in Texas, out of all places, where he's doing fuck all against a nobody. I mean, what does this do for his career? I think this is one of the worst fucking moves that I've seen Al Heyman do. I think this is worse than the Gale fighting in Boston or whatever the hell they were.
It's the same formula. It's the same thing happening over and over again. And some people out there will tell you, oh, it doesn't matter because you're watching it on TV. It doesn't matter because you're putting lots of money. It doesn't matter about... It's all about promotion, and you need to sell tickets on the ground and fill up the arena. That's where it starts. That's how you make a fighter, I think. And I don't want to watch a fight on TV with fucking half a creche there and some people have been given free tickets. I don't want to see it. The boxing I watched in the 90s was 40,000. It was madness, and you could always. That's where my love of boxing came from.
And the thing is also, like, for me, like, whenever I talk to anybody that's not into boxing and I show them a footage of a crazy ass crowd, like in Belfast, for example, they will look at it and they'll be like, whoa, what's happening over here? You know, like, what is happening here? This is a fucking event. People want to see that shit, man. There's no comparison, man. These crowds are special. They're fucking magical. And when you see that, and when you see the support and the emotion in the fight, that moves people, man, not just boxing fans. I don't understand why you would take that away from a guy. It's just, I don't know. I find it very disgraceful, actually. But yeah, that's just me.
Don't drink the fucking Kool-Aid. Don't listen to these fucking people who are telling you it's okay for the crowd to be half empty as long as you're getting the fight on TV. It's fucking bullshit.
Especially with Frampton, man. Especially with Frampton. His following is just crazy. Yeah, I can go on and on about this.
Dragging you down an Al Heyman black hole, but it has to be said.
Yeah.
Especially after the atmosphere in Manchester, though. That was electric, man.
Yeah, it's another good example.
It was good. It was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Fun, man.
Should we go back to the Manchester card.
Go ahead.
All right, Kimo. How did you score the Anthony Crolla Darley Perez fight?
Oh man, I haven't scored it, man. I just watched it once and I wasn't scoring it. But if I just recall round by round, yeah, Crolla should have won the fight. I'm not gonna deny that or whatever. For me, it's just ironic how everybody just freaks out about this shit when so many guys have been robbed in the UK before. I think in general it was a close fight, but if you take into account the 2-point deductions, which I think were a little bit bullshit, by the way. I mean, those were, especially the second one. Like, I think that's a little bit too hasty, especially when you got a guy who's actually pulling his head down at the same time as well. And then your punch automatically goes lower anyway. So I think you got to be a bit lenient on that. But yeah, it's a shame, man. It would have been a nice story for her, but I mean, we all couldn't believe it when it happened, right? When they read the scorecard.
Oh yeah, I thought it was going to be easy. I feel wide, but
yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
Maybe we got hypnotized. I was saying it afterwards. We might have got hypnotized a bit. When you've got commentators like Halling. Sorry, Keem, I'm going to do it. When you got commentators like Halling acting like he's putting on a clinic, what we expecting? But I've rewatched it on mute, and it's close. I've only got Crolla 114, 112. The fight's close. Seriously, and the problem is, I'll tell you where the controversy comes. Is that the 2 rounds where Perez got the point deductions, he arguably won them 2 rounds, so they're 9-9s. But Sky are putting them as 10-8s. So once you put them as 2 10-8s, it's obviously going to be wide. And that's where the fight kind of messes up. So, maybe not a draw. I'd still say that Crolla deserves it more than Perez. Perez didn't really impress me, but the fight's close. And when you don't listen to guys like Halling, you can see why it was a draw. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say I had it as a draw, but I can see it.
I had it as a draw. Yeah. But I had it as a draw in rounds. I didn't draw in rounds, but then I took the points off. So I had 6-6 minus the 2 points. So it was a close fight, and it's not a robbery. It's just unfortunate judging. I don't think it's. If you look at the scorecard, they're close, aren't they? The ones that make it a draw are close. So I mean, it happened to the wrong guy. That's what we were saying over the weekend. He's actually one of the nice guys that you like, and it didn't happen to. But Hearn reaped what he sowed. This shit happens. Just get the rematch. Hearn should be worried about getting the rematch, and that's probably why he's happy that they're reviewing the cards and stuff, because it'll help. He'll do a Paul Smith on it, won't he? Like with Abraham.
The thing is, I don't think they'll force it. I don't think they'll force it.
But that guy's got no one else to fight. He'd probably make better money coming over here to fight the rematch anyway. Although Derry Matthews is thinking, yeah, I'll fight that guy.
I had it 114, 112. I scored the last 2 rounds 9-9s because I thought Perez won them. But it was close. I conceded the draw, but I agree with Harry about Sky hypnotising, Halling, and McClory hypnotising.
But not us. We know better than to listen to those mugs.
No, it's true. But another thing is, though...
It was an impossible task, Cam. It was impossible.
The other thing is, though, it was a bit of a fucking boring fight, man. It wasn't a great fight to watch.
But Crolla did well, though. That's the best I've seen in box.
Yeah, but it was fucking boring, man. Like
it was boring.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was kind of it was kind of exciting at the same time because it was so close. You didn't know which way it was going to go. I felt like, but then who knows? Okay, it's a shit fight. I'm trying to.
I agree, man. I thought the fight was fucking boring, dude. I mean, Crolla, I'm sorry. I like the guy. I like his story, but he's just horrible to watch, man.
Oh, and Sky were milking that story as well, Chemo.
Oh, they milked that shit. Of course they did.
There's a point where Halling wasn't even saying, like, he helped his neighbour's house. He was like, he saved his neighbour. It's like, no, he didn't.
Dude, according to Sky, like, he was some fucking vigilante. Like, but the thing is, man, the problem is with Crolla is that he doesn't separate himself from his opponents during all these rounds. He doesn't... Actually, there was one round where he did it, where he hurt the guy.
But
all of the other rounds, like, I don't know, he's just one of these guys that doesn't really take the rounds, you know, like, and the problem is if you have like 8 swing rounds in a fight, it becomes a game of chance, because if a judge scores 7 of these swing rounds for one guy, you're going to get a wide scorecard all of a sudden. You get what I'm saying? Like, so the scorecards doesn't necessarily surprise me. And I do think Ari's right. I think if we all just chill out for a second and rewatch it and score it round by round, you know, it becomes a little bit of a game where like, okay, maybe this round can go to this guy and this round can go to that guy, but we're not saying with certainty. We're not putting our stamp on it and saying, oh, Crolla won that round clearly, you know.
The only one he won clearly was the second round, I think.
So there you go.
That's why it was a draw, you know, it was a tight fight. But I think he deserved it because the other guy wasn't as busy. But imagine if Derry Matthews caught that guy with his punch, his right hand in the second round, he would have knocked him out. So Derry Matthews must be thinking, yeah, give me this world champion, because that guy wasn't world class at all, was he?
No. But even the second, to cut you off, sorry, Leon.
That's all right, John.
Perez was kind of bossing that round until Crolla hit him with that big shot, and I give Crolla the second for that
big right hand
for that punch. But I know Hamada, who I'm going to bring in, didn't he give it to Perez? Hamada, I know you got some drama and excitement to bring over this conversation. What was your thought on the fight? How did you score it?
Yeah, I know a lot of people's going to be surprised with what I got to say, but first viewing, I didn't really watch the fight too well because the Frampton fight was on at the same time, so I was flicking through both. And I watched it on mute today. And I actually scored the fight 114-112 for Perez. I just think Crolla was missing a lot. I was watching it properly without the commentary, and I was watching a lot of Crolla's stuff was missing, and Perez's jab was really good. Like, his jab was landing, especially towards the head and the body, especially in the early rounds. And then afterwards, he started to switch it up, and he was throwing the counter jab, where Crolla will throw his jab, and then he'll make Crolla miss his jab, then throw his own jab, and then Crolla will come with his right hand, but obviously he's lost his balance and everything, so his right hand will go over the top of his head. And he was throwing a few good right hands and some sneaky little uppercuts. You know, and I just gave it to him because of better quality of work, you know. I think Crolla's work was all methodical. It wasn't really eye-catching. And like Kimo said, the rounds are very, very close, man. He weren't separating himself from Perez. And I just liked some of what Perez was doing, so I favoured Perez. I think round 2, that a lot of people
You can't score it like that.
A lot of people gave Crolla round 2, yeah? I gave it to Perez because Perez was dominating the round.
You can't do that.
But Crolla landed one shot.
Yeah,
he dominated the whole round. Crolla landed one shot.
No.
Nah. All right, so Hamada, you scored it 140-112. Really, you scored it a draw. So you had a draw like the judges then, because sorry, Hamada, but when a right hand rocks you like that, you've got the round.
You win the round.
Yeah. Because you can't do nothing. You can't.
The guy's done. He was nearly done on his feet.
No, he wasn't done. He wasn't done. He had a little wobble, and that was it.
The bell saved him.
The bell didn't save him.
The bell saved him.
I don't think the bell saved him. I just can't give a guy a round on one shot. I can't do it, man.
Of course you can, because...
Unless it's a knockdown, I can't do it.
Of course you can, because if a guy's doing very little and just about winning a round, and then he makes a fatal a major mistake and gets smashed in the face and nearly gets knocked out, it can't be his round. He was
winning the round though.
But
it was clear.
But it wasn't clear. None of those rounds were clear. And then you do the skanky dance. You can't win the round. I'm sorry. You can't score it like that.
Everyone scores a fight differently, you know. So
that's
how I
score it right, and some people score it wrong. We'll just agree you score it wrong.
No, I just can't give it. I just couldn't give it to him after just that one punch.
You just hate Matchroom too much, don't you?
I'm not. I'm actually being honest.
You're not being honest.
I am. Because look, all right, cool. I was just gonna say that if a guy is dominating the round, he's won the first minute, the second minute, 50 seconds of the third minute of the round, and the guy lands a good shot, it was a good shot. It wasn't even a shot where he's about to get knocked out. It's not as if he was about to get knocked out and he was on Queer Street. He actually told Crolla, come. He told him, come.
He danced. He did a little...
It happened, yeah, but obviously sometimes you do them kind of wobbly dances just to get your feet back. You know what I'm trying to say?
You said all the rounds were close. And there wasn't one round in that fight that either fighter dominated.
I thought the first 2 rounds, Perez was winning clearly. Like, he was dominating with the jab.
Yeah, but a jab, and then boom, and you're buckling around like a retard. I mean, anyway.
Hamada, the chat is saying that you're shot, man. Ever since you lost your number 1 spot, they're just saying you're fading, man. They're saying you're shot.
The funny thing is, I actually had a good week this week, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You lost your momentum, man. It's you should read the chat. It's not good.
Don't worry. I don't worry about the chat.
Yeah, they called you CJ Hamada, man.
So it's not a close fight. So you can't say Perez could have got the.
Yeah, it's a close fight.
Everything. Why are you arguing about the second round with you? It's only the second round.
When you've got the second round for Perez and you've scored it to Perez, then obviously something's a bit dodge. That's what we're trying to tell you. Like, you know, I spoke to you about this earlier. You can't.
If you got a winner, I don't have a problem with it. If you got the other guy winning, Perez winning, but not that second round.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, on second viewing, Perez was a lot better than I actually thought. When I was watching it the fight night, I was saying to myself,
you destroyed him, didn't you?
I thought this guy's average. But then after watching it, he does very little subtle things. He's got a very good jab, a very good counter jab. But his offense is very average. He don't really punch in combination. He doesn't put punches together well. His body punches were quite low. He had a little sneaky uppercut and a sneaky right hand, but that was about it.
All right. Any final thoughts about this fight?
I think Crolla just showed shit heart. He did a very good job.
All in that were disgraceful. See what?
He got Everest.
See, commentary at one point. You know, commentary is important because, you know, a lot of people that watch boxing are casual fans, innit? So they're not going to understand what's going on. So they're relying on the commentary team to tell them what's going on. You know what I'm trying to say? They're seeing just punches land. They don't see the little subtleties that are going on inside the ring. And now it seems like to the casual fan that Crolla got robbed when he clearly didn't get robbed. They kept bringing up Ricky Hatton versus Kostya Tszyu. That was nothing like that. I mean, they were disgraceful, man. This guy needs to have a look at themselves, especially the Holland. Holland, you don't know if Holland's a commentator or if he's a cheerleader. You don't know. He had the pom-poms out, man.
He's a hype man. Well, we've known that. I can't stand him.
He's not a hype man. He's worse than that. He's like propaganda. It's like, you know, like communist Russia stuff. It's proper propaganda. It's not. Yeah, it is. He's not like Flavor Flav hype man style. It's more devious than that, man.
Yeah. I'll say this because we don't want to just turn into Holland shit. Let's leave on this. I'll just say he needs to fuck off back to NFL. I'll just leave it like that.
I think what would have saw a lot of what Perez was doing. You know, I think Glenn McCrory was shocking as well. He just kept saying this Crolla and all this. You'd think
he found Jim's bottle of whiskey under the desk, I think, and he shouldn't be drinking anymore. So
yeah.
One thing that I like about Jim Watt, though, at least when, say for example, a foreigner comes over, he likes to assess them first for the first few rounds. He likes to look at how they're standing, how their stance is, what kind of things they're doing, and then he'll go off on the bias. Like Holland will wind him up and get him on the train, but
he's a little bit crude.
Yeah, but McCrory is just terrible.
Nah, I agree, man. McCrory as a commentator is terrible.
But he's usually more honest than the others. I think you're right. Nick Holland just winds them up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He's putting speed in their drink.
I think Holland is also emotionally invested in it, man.
Yeah, he is.
I feel like he's really like patriotic, and he really, really wants the British guy to win. So it just dilutes his entire like professionalism about the broadcast. But I still stand by. I still stand by the guy, man. I think he's fucking fantastic, and he creates excitement. I don't really give a shit about the bias. I know what's up. I'm a boxing fan, and I don't really care about casual. I don't really care what they think. Casuals. Yeah, because they come to one fight and then they fuck off for another year, you know. So I know what's happening. As long as he's yelling "big rod hand," then I'm good with it, man.
I love all that I watched it with the volume off. Like that's going to make a difference to you, really. If you're getting tricked by it, you're part of a problem, not a solution.
I can't do that, man. Watch it in
mute. It's what's his name? Floyd started that, didn't he? I'll watch it with the volume off, and you'll see I want it clear and all that stuff.
All right, let me jump in because
it's boring as well.
Let me jump in because we shit on these guys a lot, so we'll move on. Anyone want to discuss the rest of the undercard from Manchester? I honestly didn't see the Eggington fight or Jenkins nurse because I was out with the family for a meal. I just came home while the Murray fight was on, and that was pretty shocking, to be honest.
That Murray fight, how bad was that fight?
Terrible. The stoppage was terrible as well.
I'll tell you what it was. Go on.
No, go on.
I was saying, I watched it all, and it was first two fights really good. Not really good. The nurse fight wasn't great, but the Eggington fight I enjoyed, and then that Murray fight that just killed it. It's just like it sucked all the atmosphere out of the room.
It's them fights that. Sorry, let me just quickly say. It's them fights that we were told wouldn't be on our airwaves no more. Them kind of fights, we're not supposed to see them anymore. It's just pointless. We know what's going to happen before the fight starts. He's fighting a Latvian or Croatian or whatever, who's been brought over on a week's notice, you know. And then you stop it at the first sign of hurt. It's just, what's the point? And but other than that, it was a great card. You know, Hearn gave us a card worthy of Sky.
Yeah,
and we're not always going to say that. So props to him. But the Murray fight was unnecessary. We didn't need it. But Eggington looked good. I like the Eggington. He looked like he's coming on. He looks like he might be signed.
He fought long, didn't he, as well? He used his reach on him. He was really good. But that Murray fight is like going to a party and being a really good party, and then that fucking bellend you went to school with turns up, ruined it. That fight was that guy. It's just like
Leon. Can I ask you a question? Did those last two Murray fights? Did they or did they not send shockwaves throughout the division?
I can still feel the tremors now.
Yeah, I love Sky, man. I fucking love the way they fucking do that shit. He fights up two fucking taxi drivers and is like, "Oh, the division is
on warning." Yeah.
That was a horrible fight.
Sky is making a statement.
But
how's he making a statement? The guy's been knocked out before. I don't understand it.
He's making an example out of him.
And he's a drained like heavy, wasn't he? But I think you're right, Ari. Eggington looked really good, and he might take the last bit of Gavin's soul.
I don't think he's ready yet. And
not yet. But he might get him in about a year, maybe.
Two more fights, and then 2 more fights. Give him 2 more. Give him a European fight next. Give him a decent European. Not like someone if Murray fought, but someone decent.
Yeah, no, he's only, what is he, 21, 22 still?
He's 21. Yeah, 21. Yeah. He's young, man.
He's
got 2 kids.
Yeah, he's been busy, man. Between the tattoo and the kids, I'm surprised he's got time
to pay them bills, man. He's hungry,
But that's what I like about it. He seems like he'll take any fight as well.
You know what I noticed about Eggington? He actually speaks worse than Quigg. His voice is terrible.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, his accent's terrible.
That's the whole of Birmingham. Yeah, Hamada.
Nah, his accent. Frankie Gavin sounds fine. It's just his accent. It's terrible.
You can't make fun of their speech, man. Come on, it's not cool.
It's good to see. That's to be fair to her, and it's good to see he took that guy. He lost in a prize fighter, and he's built him up, and he's done a good job by him. I know we complain about Hearn and hyping stuff up, but to be fair to him, he is signing a lot of young boxers, and he's got a good crop of youngsters coming through. We don't get to see them yet because they're all on the off TV, but he's got some good fighters there. He's doing the right thing, so you got to give him a little bit of props.
You know what they say? He reminds me of a mini Margarito. That's what Matchroom sell him as.
Well,
all right, guys. Anything else on the Matchroom card? All right. I just want to quickly, firstly, shit on Chris Arreola for his performance, but then secondly, kind of shout him out because after the fight, he actually said that his performance was shit and that he doesn't deserve Deontay. And I kind of rate him for that because so many boxers would put in a shit performance and go, you know what, the camp was bad, this was bad, but if I get the Wilder fight, I'll bring it and blah blah blah. But he didn't do none of that shit. He didn't make no excuses. He just said that he doesn't deserve the fight. I actually had Cassie winning the fight by 1 round. It was a bit of a close round. I don't know how you guys scored it, or even if you guys watched it or not. It was on the undercard of the Frampton fight. In the UK, it was on ITV4, and then we tuned over to ITV1 for the Frampton fight. So watching Chris Arreola at 9 p.m. in the UK was quite weird. But the fight was pretty shit. For Cassie, I don't know, he's not a big heavyweight. I think he's only about 6'1". I think he maybe should cut a bit of muscle and just drop down to cruiser, because he's very muscular. So I think I don't really see him doing much in the heavyweight division, even though, you know, I think he slightly won it. I just think Arreola didn't take him serious, and you know, Arreola's the king of the muffin tops. You saw all that flab hanging out the top of his shorts, man. The guy just in terrible shape. And you guys got any thoughts?
But I wouldn't say Chris Arreola didn't take him serious. I'll say that Arreola's shot. That's what I'll say. I think, you know, he doesn't train. If you're not training and you're not serious, that's what happens. You're not doing it. He's not that talented for him to be going on like, oh, I don't have to train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he's done. And yeah, if he gets that Wilder fight, it's a joke. And you know, Wilder was mostly the most pissed off person watching the fight, because he was obviously that fight's lined up for him, and then Arreola damn near lost. He really lost. Let's keep it real. But you know, he got himself a lucky draw. So yeah, I don't want to see him no more unless he's gonna, you know, be dedicated to what he's doing. He can't just come out and say, "Oh, I love food" and all this shit.
He's never done it, Ari. When has he ever fucking done it? The guy
I know, but I've never seen him in I've never seen him that bad shape.
Tomato, man. It's the same shit. He looks like crap every time. I hate this fucking guy on my TV screen, by the way. I can't stand to see a professional athlete looking like this, man. I mean, it's just disgraceful. What the fuck are you doing, man? Bring in another heavyweight who's hungry and wants to be on TV, man, and make a name for himself. What the fuck are you doing with your life if you're a professional boxer and you call yourself a top 20 of the world or whatever you are, you know, and you look like this, man? I got no words for it, man. I got no respect for this guy, really. He might have a bit of talent. He must have to be able to get away on this level to fight guys and to look like that, man. Because I mean, the guy is just shit, and I don't want to see him anymore, man. I really
don't waste your breath on the man. Don't waste your breath on him.
Yeah,
forget him.
That's the problem with our Heyman. What he's doing is he's giving these kind of people an opportunity. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, people that are ungrateful, like Arreola, and we're probably going to get into Chavez in a bit. I'm paying them too much. So Arreola's not going to quit boxing. Why? Because he's going to make good money from doing it. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's where our Heyman's bad for boxing.
I wish we could take Arreola's chin and put it in David Price, because he works hard and deserves it, man. But yeah, he just doesn't have the fucking talent. And he's a really nice guy. And he's got awesome suits, but yeah.
Oh, shit, man. Yo, I think Amir Imam should get this shot at Wilder, seeing as though he knocked Fred Cassie out cold.
I'm happy with that.
All
you
right.
might knock him out.
The coalition have decided that's the Wilder's next fight, so...
Yeah, I think it's a good choice, Cam. Yeah, at least the guy comes in shape, you know?
Yeah.
He's motivated.
Definitely. He could knock him out, you know?
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Showtime card. Very hard to get hold of these fights today. I managed to find a download site for the Imam fight and for the Chavez Jr. fight, but life's tough out there without Simbros. Imam looked good, I thought. Only struggled throughout the maybe third round when Angulo was kind of smothering him a bit and kind of just getting on his chest and just throwing wild shots. But yo, the knockout was quite devastating in the fourth round. Did you guys see the fight, and what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw it, man. I saw it. I like Imam, man. I think he's a good fighter. He's one of the guys that kind of can handle the shoulder roll. You know, he doesn't go Alberto on us. He actually uses it with some skill. Fair enough. He's not fighting really like top opposition, obviously, but I like his style, man. And he commits to the jab as well. You know, like he will stick to like doubling it and tripling it and following it with combinations. I like him, man. I think he's a very entertaining boxer to watch. You know, a lot of these boxers nowadays, they just run around and they don't really show like good defense or ability to counter, and he does that. So I think he's very entertaining to watch for a slick fighter, and I want to see a lot more of him. But it's time to step it up now. I think he's done with this level. I think he needs to move on to a legit opponent. And even better, what he said after the fight, by the way. I fucking love that.
Calling them out. Yeah.
Yeah, with Don King in the background.
with his little flags.
Oh, it brought a tear to my eye. It reminded me of my childhood seeing Don King in the ring again. I miss him.
Though, man.
I miss that mad bastard.
He was just yelling Mayweather, as if it's even Jim Gray was like, "You're saying Mayweather, Don? Yeah, Mayweather!" Like, dude, that's not even like remotely realistic. But
are you telling me that you wouldn't want to see Don King involved in Mayweather's last ever fight? That'd be fucking good value, man. You get a good press conference out of that.
Is Imam attached to any networks, or can he just kind of go to anyone, seeing as though he's with Don King, or is he attached to Showtime? Does anyone know?
No, he's with Don King, but I think he can go anywhere. Feels like King might be saddling up to Heyman for one last payday, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I think Imam was number 3 in the WBC. Is it Matisse Postol they're going to fight for the vacant title? So,
I think he fights the winner.
Yeah, he fights the winner.
Yeah, man. Like Matisse Imam would be a great fight, man.
He knows guys like Garcia aren't going to go for it, man. Cherry pickers.
Yeah, true.
I'm not sure if I like him on. Of course, I think everyone would say they like him on. He's like an old school fighter. He's very fun to watch, but I don't know if he can take a Matisse punch though.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
You even said Matisse is beating Postal.
Matisse is beating Postal.
Oh, that's a close fight.
He'll outbox him, I think.
Yo, I think Ari's just aware of anyone called Amir.
No, I like. Oh, come
Shots fired.
That was a good one, Cam. I like him on. He's brilliant to watch.
But he's open though, isn't he? You can get.
Yeah, he is. That's a bit open. He's a bit open.
Touch him.
That's the problem I'd say with Matisse. But yeah, shout out to you, Cam. You got me that download link for the fight. I've been trying since Sunday morning to look for this Imam fight. I couldn't give two shits about Chavez, but I've been looking for this Imam fight and I couldn't find it. And you got me a link literally an hour before the show. So yeah, thanks to you. I quickly watched it. Yeah, he looked good. And Gula was just trying to rough him up on the inside. Everyone seems to really think that's the plan for Imam because they know they can't get nothing on the outside, so they try and rough him on the inside. But he's got it, and he caught him coming in. Oh, beautiful 1-2 and. It's class, and yeah, Matisse Postal next. I think you'll get another warm-up fight before that. I'm sure he would want another fight this year before he fights them. But yeah, that'll be the fight. I'd say it's Matisse, so yeah, that'll be a great fight. But I'm not sure who I pick yet because Matisse has got serious power, and Imam's been down before from hooks, so I'm not sure.
He got knocked down. Did he get knocked that great fight at the beginning of the year?
It was twice.
Maldonado, I think it was.
That was a great fight.
Yeah,
but he's fun.
One of the fights a year.
I'd love to see him put a whooping on Broner, but I guess Broner won't ever make it back down to that weight, will he?
Unlikely, man. Broner's a fatty now.
He'd beat him
Even
up,
if he
wouldn't
could,
he?
he wouldn't do that shit.
Imam would beat him up.
Hamada, did you see it, or you bothered about it?
I didn't watch the whole fight, but I saw the knockout. It was a good right hand, and he fell face first like Manny Pacquiao.
Why do you have to mention Paul Manny, man? Come on, bro.
That's the first.
He's TMT, isn't he?
That's the first thing that came to mind when I saw it. I was like, "Whoa, he dropped like Pacquiao."
He's not good enough, Jim.
He's not good enough, Jim.
No, he's being knocked out. All right, let's move on to Chavez fight. Anyone see that shit?
Yep.
That was fucking terrible chemo.
Yeah. The guy. Oh my god, man. This whole resurgence in the Garcia camp is just a myth. I mean, the guy's never going to change. It's just sad.
How did that weight go for them?
Yeah, well, he missed weight as well, right? And then he comes. I mean, Chavez is one of these guys that just has no shame about what he's doing. Like he just comes on the Jim Gray interview, and just it's a 0.8 pounds, the scale was off, whatever.
I could have took that off in 2 hours.
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, but you already moved the weight up a few weeks out of the fight, right? It's all good. He just doesn't give a shit,
He's
the
not
guy
a fighter. He's not a fighter.
Well, I mean, he is a fighter. I just don't think he's an athlete. I mean, he doesn't know how to fight, and he does have balls. I mean, the fact that he kind of quit against Fonfora, okay, fair enough. But the guy does come to fight most of the time. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from him. but he is limited. His only advantage in the past has been his size, and now that he's fucked up with his weight, like he can't do it anymore for some reason, and that can be due to a lot of things, by the way. I mean, hasn't he pissed hot for something as well, like diuretics or not?
Yeah, that's to cover up the, the jazz cigarettes, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, whatever it is, like he obviously had a way of making weight before, while still struggling, obviously, and now he just can't do it anymore, and all his advantages have been taken away, and now he's just a flat-footed, average fighter, and it shows. I mean, I think he's done, Cam. I don't know what you think, but I think his career is now really just pretty much at the end of it. I mean, I don't know what fight they're going to give him now.
Well, I read he wants to look back at 175, but I think the only time he has success is when he's the big guy and he's bullying smaller guys, and even when he's doing that, he can't cut the ring off. You know, Reyes was getting about it. Reyes was, and he's too easy to hit, man. He gets hit with just stupid shots where you think he needs to block it or have some head movement, but he does neither. And I just think, he's just living off his dad's name, making decent money, and thinking, fuck it, I'll just keep doing this until I can't go anymore, because at some point now, they're just going to think fucking Chavez is a waste of money. The ratings are low. They're just going to have to cut ties with him.
Cam, if you look at him technically, right, his feet are fucking horrible. Like he doesn't know how to cut off the ring. Whenever he gets in front of an opponent, he just squares up and stands there with his hands up, and he does no head movement whatsoever. And he really needs the guy to stand still for like 2 to 3 seconds, and then he will throw a body shot. I mean, when you actually think about it, he's a fucking terrible fighter. Like, yep. He really is just flawed. And when you get a guy like Fanfare, for example, who's got size, who's got some technique, you can just blast this guy out of there, man. I mean, he just stands in front of you, and you can just. Even he's open himself to the body as well, man. I mean, you can just fucking blast this guy, and he's got a good chin. That's one thing you can give him as well. But I don't know. I used to like him because he's kind of entertaining, but now it's just like done for me. I'm over it. Stick a fork in it.
It's done. Anyone else?
No, I'm not watching his fights anymore. I said after that Fanfare fight, out of respect for his dad, man. I'm just not watching that shit anymore. It's just a waste of time. His dad must cry himself to sleep every night thinking about that. Just what an embarrassment he is to his dad's name. He's shocking, man.
Well, he's still there ringside, man, and the camera's still in his face. Like, it's kind of sad to see him sit there.
It's such a punishment, isn't he?
At the same time, why are these guys still going to see him? Why they, you know what I mean? Like I said before, apparently it was like 8,000, 9,000 in that arena. Why are they going to see him?
They were booing him.
The guy comes in out. He's brought up a light middleweight or middleweight. I heard he was a light middleweight to super middleweight. You don't even make the super middleweight record. Weight
limit.
You change it to 170 on the day because you know you might not make it. You still don't make it. It's ridiculous, man. Fuck him, man. I didn't see the fight either. I went to sleep after we got fed well with Quigg and the Frampton cards, So
yeah,
I was only really thinking stay up for Imam, but I didn't bother. So
stay up to 4 a.m. for him.
Yeah, fuck that.
Got better things to do, man.
And the thing is, for me in the UK and for us guys, Box Nation didn't pick it up, and I can't watch shitty streams anymore, man. Seriously, like if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, unless it's a big fight, then I'll stay up and watch a stream if no UK broadcaster has picked it up. But if it's a shit fight and there's no HD, fuck that. I'm going to bed.
Because
the opponent was crap as well.
You would have woken up at 8 a.m. just to sleep on the sofa thinking, missed that fight again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Just quickly mention Abraham versus Stieglitz 16. It's pretty light. I knew Stieglitz was done, to be honest, after.
But I didn't think he was that done. He was soulless, wasn't he, in there?
Yeah, it was kind of a shame to see, but like I'm happy I got my points off Abraham. I just thought it was going to go unanimous though, so only got 10 points. But Stieglitz, man, he was fucking terrible. I thought, man.
But he's always been like that. He always he'll throw a few punches and get close, and he just hugs him. It's just, yeah. He got lucky. He got lucky when he beat Abraham in that the third fight he beat him in.
And he only got lucky because of the eye.
Yeah. So it was never, Abraham's a better fighter than him. They ain't saying much, is it? So at the moment,
hopefully Abraham fights some real guys outside of Germany now. When I say real guys, I don't mean
Sturm, isn't it? It's gonna be Sturm.
Well, there you go. But I did hear before that he was saying after I finish Stieglitz off, I want to start fighting some other champions. So I hope it happens. You never know. But yeah, Stieglitz was a nice right hand. Man.
It was his legs kind of didn't know whether to stay up or go down. He did that kind of little jiggle like.
And he didn't even make the count, and the ref still let him go on. And then it's good that his corner stopped it.
Did you see Keller at ringside? He was having a big night out. I think he jumping up and down, and this ringside judge, when he fell down, he was pushing him in the back, like jumping up and down and pushing him, just like going crazy. He must have been hitting it hard.
Abraham looked good though, didn't he?
Ali needed that after the day before, innit?
Yeah.
Hamada, I thought he looked good as well.
He did look good.
He looked good, man. He was making Stieglitz miss. I think Abraham's a lot better than what people give him credit for.
I think, you know what? He's a fighter that kind of levels himself to his opposition. So if he's fighting lower level, he doesn't perform. But if he's fighting, it's like the Smith one. He thought the first Smith fight is going to be easy. And then you could tell that he actually trained harder for the second fight. And I've seen other fights with Abraham, maybe last year and the year before, where the opponent wasn't known and he looked terrible. But as soon as he fights a guy that's serious, man, he actually he tries harder, he trains harder, and he looks a lot more impressive, I think.
So Cam, are you saying that Paul Smith isn't world class?
No comment.
No, but Abraham for sure is definitely a lot better than what people give him credit for. Everyone just says Abraham's this, Abraham's that. If you after the fight, they were talking to Carl Froch about it. They were saying that how even Froch was saying it was a tough fight and how Abraham is very good defensively. Like his high guard is probably one of the best in boxing. It's so hard to penetrate it.
No, but it's also
a killer, wasn't he? Sorry, Kimo.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, it's also his flaw, man. I don't think Froch had a tough fight with him, man. Froch outboxed the shit out of him. He wasn't tough at all.
It's just not a lot easier than what you think. You know what I'm trying to say? He's a lot better than given credit for.
No, I mean, Abraham
deal with.
Abraham is a tough motherfucker. He's got a really good chin. He's got one of the best chins actually, which he doesn't get a lot of credit for, and he's got good power. And his defense is okay, but he's too static.
That's true.
He gets too much in the comfort zone where he just doesn't punch with his opponents. He lets them tee off, and then he responds. But he never. And if the opponents keep punching, then his work rate just drops significantly. So he's always had this issue. I think he's a decent fighter, But at this point in his career, I mean, what can we say? It's just a circus for the German public.
You're right though about his chin. He's got an amazing chin. I remember when he was fighting Edison Miranda and his jaw broke. Granite chin. And his blood was coming out of his mouth, and he went the full distance. Most people would have probably quit. He's as tough as they come.
Hamada, that is one of the bravest performances, and people don't talk about this very often.
Exactly.
Because they just shit on him, yeah. But that is one of the most brave performances that you will find in boxing, man. Because most guys quit whether it's a broken nose or whether it's an eyelid or anything like that. I mean, look at Collazo, man. He fought with a fucking broken jaw that was just hanging, man. I
think he broke it in the fourth round as well, and he went for another 8 with the broken jaws. You could see it in his face as well. It was just ridiculous.
That's a good segue about quitting, because I just want to talk about the Macao card in China. So it got broadcast in the UK. I don't know about the US. I think you guys had the top ranked stream, and I'm not sure if you got the Shafikov fight, but Denis Shafikov obviously upset that he didn't get the fight against Mickey B, having a tune-up against Roy Mulcalis, and Roy got hit with a few shots and then just fucking quit in the third round, man. I know some of you guys saw this, and I just thought it was ridiculous, man. That's the type of situation, like Bunce was saying in the studio, that the purse should get withheld, man, because the guy just, blatantly quit, and he didn't even take that many shots.
Yeah, definitely. It was a joke, man. The guy just stopped. He put his hand up and stopped and just started walking to the corner. And even the ref was baffled. The ref was thinking, like, what's going on here? And then the ref just waved it off. Shafikov even ran over to him. I think Shafikov wanted to knock him out.
He should have punched him in the back of the head, man, and fuck it. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I don't know what that guy was doing.
Terrible. But yeah, we also had Nonito Donaire on that card against the Frenchman, Anthony Setel. Obviously, they took a white towel to the ring with him, but they should have just took a white flag with the ring to them, to be honest. Because Setel dropped in the first round, delayed body shot. It was actually a good, nice little left hook. And then in the second round, what was the shot that got him in the second? It was a right hand from Donaire, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a pull right hand counter. Like he pulled back from the jab, right hand.
That was a nice shot as well, man.
Yeah,
I think that Donaire looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, he's still dangerous at that weight, man. He
did, but look at his opposition,
he's the biggest
man.
puncher at that weight. He's got the most power at that weight, and he's back down where he should be.
The problem is, though, it's not good preparation for if he's going to fight someone good in the next fight, because the last 2 fights, he's just fought nobody. It's probably good to get his confidence back and stuff, but it's not really. He's not got rounds under his belt, and it's not good preparation if the so-called fight with Scott Quigg's going to happen.
If he lands on Quigg, good night.
Yo, that's
It's an easy fight for Donaire.
That's the fight I want to see, though, man. Like, I was joking with Kimo yesterday. I said, "Yo, if that happens in Dubai, I'm coming over to watch that shit." Well, obviously, we know it's not going to happen in Dubai because it's not really a suitable venue for either fighter. Like, Quigg's got his base in Greater Manchester. Donaire's got his base in Macau and obviously LA.
If the purse is right, and I'm sure Dubai would fill our arena. But we've heard about these Dubai cards, and I don't think we've had one yet. So I can't say too much.
The fight's not going to happen anyways. Hearn's not going to make that fight.
Yeah. He's not going to fight him.
Then Quigg's going to go back to fighting bums, man. And
it might be.
Bums,
it might be where they did plan the fight, but it'll be like where kind of anti-Joshua, where they were saying what, and then what wins the fight, where he looks very good, and then they go to Cornish. So
Hearn always does that. He names drops, and then he doesn't pick up. He doesn't get that guy. He always name drops, and then he was mentioning Rios. That never happened. Like he said with Wack. That's what he does, man. Quigg's gonna go back to Manchester. He's gonna be fighting bantamweights again and live off this Kiko Martinez performance.
Can you do that?
How much will Hearn have to pay Donaire to come over? Do you think?
2 million, 3 million,
at least, right?
Yeah. Well, he was on 7 figures with HBO, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And Hearn's a tight cunt anyway. He's not gonna put the money up to bring him over.
Donaire going in today, boy.
Donaire's not been making that lately, though. He's gonna get $3 million.
Yeah, but he's traveling, isn't it?
Like his last fight wasn't even on TV.
Yeah, but he's traveling. You know what I'm trying to say? You have to pay more when you're making people travel.
Yeah, but I don't think you triple a guy's pay when they travel.
To get him to this country, you'd have to with our refs.
Is that Kev?
Yeah.
You're a bit low, by the way. I don't know if you're on speaker or something.
Yeah, Kev, your connection is a bit weird, man.
All right, no doubt.
No, you'd have to pay Donaire some good money to get him over here, I think.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Rob Palmer in the chat saying that Donaire's highest ever payday is 1.25 million versus Rigo.
Yeah, so you have to
say. I'll say to Rob. Well, no, I don't have to say it to Rob. I'll say to everyone will he get Donaire over here without him putting it on a pay-per-view?
Exactly.
Nah, that has to be pay-per-view. Exactly.
And is Quigg really headlining a pay-per-view?
And
if he fights Donaire, he's going to headline.
And the undercard would have to be shit because you'll have to spend all the money on Donaire.
Yeah, exactly. He won't be able to put on one of those stacked cards.
No.
I say go to Dubai, man.
Actually, Kimo, what's your thoughts? Will there ever be a big fight in the UAE?
Man, I don't really see it happening right now. I do know that there are some. I mean, there is some sports council which is basically run by the Royals, right? That will put up money for an event. I went to. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It airs on Spike TV, Glory Kickboxing, which is pretty good to watch. I went to see it in Dubai, and they obviously paid good money to bring it over here. I don't know who was behind that, but the arena was fucking empty, and I was really disappointed with it. They do some sort of MMA stuff here once in a while. Boxing is pretty much non-existent, man. It's really not live. don't know about a Donaire Quigg fight. I really don't see it happening. The only thing is, in here, there's a very large Filipino community. It's very big, man. It's very big. And if a popular Filipino fighter comes over here, then I can see them packing out a decent-sized venue. But somebody needs to get behind it and put up the money, and I just don't see that happening right now, man. I mean, if I look at the history of it, there's always been talks about Mayweather-Pacquiao, but apart from that, Khan has talked about it as well, but I've never really seen anybody publicly get behind it, either being a promoter, somebody who is involved in this business to set it up here, man. So I have little faith in it. I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Who's that, Emo?
Yo, what up, Kev?
What up, man? Yo, but when you're talking about the Filipino population, like, there's a large Filipino group in, like, the Navy, and I keep in touch with them because they're all big Pacquiao fans and boxing fans. And Donaire just never captured that audience. Like, he was never embraced like that from, like, what I understand. And I mean, I could be wrong. I'm only hearing it from a, small group of people, but I don't know why they would have a reason to lie to me, but I don't think he's a draw like that, and everyone's going to get behind him,
It's probably the same as, like, when you have, like, a Mexican-American guy that's not really supported by the Mexicans, Exactly. I think Donaire is maybe viewed in the same way with the Filipinos.
Yeah, he's
a bit more of an American than a Filipino in their eyes, maybe.
Yep, totally agree.
I'll tell you one thing, there ain't many people flying out from Bury out to Dubai for that fight, are they? Let's be honest about it. They're not exactly... The superstars aren't flying in on their private jets to see that fight. Dubai's only going to do it, like you said, when it's like proper big stars. Because if they had Mayweather, Pacquiao, they would have made proper money. People would have flown in and made serious money. But Quigg, Donaire, that's not on the same level, is it? So I mean,
I don't think really there's a market for it either, Leon. I mean, the event I went to was promoted quite heavily, man. I mean, I saw like huge posters everywhere and flyers and what's up?
I mean, if it's a big fight and the people who are going to a Mayweather Pacquiao fight have got money, they would think going to Dubai as like a holiday, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They'd have killed it with that fight.
I don't know. I mean, Dubai is not Las Vegas, Like, you get people traveling, for example, to Vegas for big fights because it's Vegas, It's like the barrier to go there is a bit smaller than maybe to go to Dubai. I just don't really see the market for it. But one thing I did want to say, Cam, about Donaire's performance actually is it's refreshing to see him go to the body for once, man. Yeah. I mean, the guy just has a terrific left hook, and he never goes to the fucking body. The guy still has so much potential, man. I really wish that he would stick more to fundamentals, and he can box, man. He's got good legs, he's got good power, he's got good speed, he's got a terrific left hook. If he would mix that up to the body a lot more, it would open up the head for him as well, But what he's been doing for his last fights, man, he fights like some Dragon Ball Z shit, man, like flying uppercuts and all this, man. Like he just believes way too much in his power, and he never got out of it. It's really a shame.
He just never does good when there's punches coming back either. He don't like to sit there and exchange. That's why he likes to throw those wild punches and try to get the fuck out real quick.
Yeah, but Kev, I mean, if you actually stick to some fundamentals, then you can work towards the KO. If you just expect it to happen instantly and it doesn't, then you're gonna freeze. You're gonna choke a little bit. But he doesn't work for the KO. He doesn't let it happen naturally.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying he don't do it. Like I think it has to do with he don't like when people punch him back. To be honest, I think when he was coming up through the weight classes and he was hitting people, he was just bullying them around, and he didn't have to worry much about the return fire. And then once he started getting hit, all of a sudden he starts jumping around looking for one punch, trying to be like a Roy Jones type of fighter and shit. Like, I don't know.
I think in the Walters fight, he definitely showed some grit though. Like he went to war with Walters. You don't see that from Donaire very often. That he really fights continuously against a guy that's hurting him. And
he still hurt. He hurt him. He hurt Walters in that fight. So if he can hurt Walters, the big guy at featherweight. I mean, he might knock Quigg's head clean off.
My concern is if the Quigg fight doesn't happen, the rest of the decent super bantamweights over with Al Heyman, like he's just going to go back to fighting lower opposition again. Yep. That's the only issue, really. But anyone else got anything else to say about Mr. Donaire?
No.
All right, let's talk about the main event that was on that Macau card. Mr. Ike Young versus Mao's cousin. Mao's hidden cousin who's been hiding out in Argentina. No one knows anything about him. And he ended up being a beast of a fighter, man. Not power-wise, but just boxing skill-wise. Cesar Rene Cuenca, man. The guy really impressed me, man. What did you guys think?
TBE.
He should get the Floyd fight. That 144 catch rate or something.
I tell you, it would give Floyd more trouble than Berto would. Seriously. From what I thought. No, it was... I think everyone that I was chatting to while the fight was going on, I think everyone was very impressed with him. I was. I mean, if he could punch, he'd be my new favourite fighter.
Yeah.
But, because he's moving, like Barry Jones saying, he moves, but he's in the pocket, he's standing in front of you. He's just got such good, his judgment of distance is very, very, very good.
The thing is that when I was doing the prediction league and you look at his record, he's at 48 wins, or 47 wins at the time. And 2 knockouts, you're gonna think. Then you see that he's never really fought outside of Argentina, But this guy really impressed me, man. Like at first, when I first seen him come out, I thought he was gonna waste a lot of nervous energy. He sees hands up, hands down, hands up, hands down, back, forth, dipping to the left, dipping to the right. I thought this guy's gonna gas himself out by the fucking 7th round. But his movement was excellent. His footwork was great. He was circling a lot to the right. I would have liked to see him mix it up a bit, but he's southpaw obviously. And his jab was excellent. His counters were excellent, man. I just thought the guy was really impressive, and he's picked up the IBF strap that Danny Garcia's vacated, and there's good fighters out there because I presume that Top Rank would have some options on him. So there's maybe the possibility of the Crawford fight or. Other guys that are over there.
The good thing about him is he's going to want the fights, isn't he? He's not going to get the belt and run away and hide.
Exactly, like him versus Provodnikov would be excellent, I think. So
really good.
Anyone else?
I definitely want to see him fighting next.
You see this, Kimo?
I was actually watching it before we started the show, man. I found a decent. Well, it's not HD, but it's a decent version on YouTube. I only saw 5 rounds of it, man. Well, it was a pretty decent fight. I still got to finish watching it, but I think this is one of the better fights, actually, of the weekend, no? If you look at the action as well.
Yeah, like when he dropped Young as well. Was it a second round? Was it the first round? When he dropped him? Let me check now.
I definitely saw somebody getting dropped. It was a pretty decent fight, man.
Yeah, Young got dropped in the first. Cuenca went down in the 5th, and Young was deducted 1 point in the 12th. But it was a very one-sided fight, man. I think Cuenca really showed Young's vulnerabilities, man. Like if the guy's not standing there in front of him, he can't really do shit. He struggled with the guy that had movement, and he also kind of admired his work a bit. He'll do a 1-2, and he'll stand there in the pocket with his hands down, and he was just too easy to hit by Cuenca.
Yo, does he speak English, Young? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because his trainer, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was watching like until the 6th round and then after he dropped the guy, I don't remember which round, but his trainer, who's an Australian guy, I forgot his name, he was fucking yelling at Young like, stop fucking admiring your own work, like this and that. Like he was proper like lashing out at him, man. Yeah. And and he was looking at him probably like he didn't understand what the hell he was saying. so his translator probably had to like jump in and.
But he's part of the wild card, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Marvin was there as well, man. Yeah, Marvin was there as well at the corner.
Another loss on the notch.
Yeah, well, these Chinese guys suck, man. Come on.
They're getting glass this year.
Yo, and that ref's like the campus ref in boxing, man.
I like him. He's very funny.
He's entertaining to watch.
He's like a little South Park character, isn't he?
Anyone else want to talk about it?
He was shouting at him. DC, though, he was going, box, go on, box. Like, tell him to get on with it.
Yeah, I like when refs do that.
Yeah, get on with it.
I like when refs do that, man.
Stop holding him! Stop holding him!
Yeah. And he was shouting at the corner, going, "Don't worry about what I'm doing."
Yeah, I caught that as well.
yeah, you get on with your job, I'll get on with my job. But only really kind of high-pitched voice, which I can't do. That's Chemo's job.
I still need to watch the fight, man, but I'll definitely check that ref out.
Yeah, he's good, man.
All right, I think Hamada's popped out for a bit. Ari, you saw it, didn't you? Ari.
He did see it. He enjoyed it. That's what he said.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I saw it.
You fell asleep?
No, I was doing something. Yeah, sorry. It was a decent. No, yeah, I was surprised. I picked Yang because obviously I hadn't seen Cuenca. And I went on the advice of my friend Nelta.
Again,
but you're the guy who always says go against Nelta's picks.
Yeah, but
you got to start listening to your own shit, man. You go to Nelta for information because he got all the information. He'll tell you all their information, fucking shit, the ice cream they liked when they were 6, everything. But when it comes to picking fights, just go the other way.
Yeah,
it's true.
He's
That's
like the bush in Bronx Tale.
Yeah, I told Nelta that's the last straw with me.
He's done.
It's cost me enough -8s, so that's the last straw. But yeah, Cuenca did look good, man. I didn't know too much about him before the fight. I thought he was just one of these Argentinians who padded their records in Argentina without fighting anyone, but he had legit skills. Yang didn't know anything. Yang didn't know anything to do against him. He was just confused by the speed and the footwork and the variations. It was just brilliant. Like Leon said, if this guy had power, he'd be something. But obviously, the power's gonna let him down. But I'd love to see maybe a Crawford fight. That'd be great for the 140 division, you know.
But he was very quick. He's gonna be tough to hit. I mean, I think he's a good fight for anyone, especially if you put him in against a puncher. But, you know, they could set up a big Argentinian fight, couldn't they?
Yeah, if Matisse beats Postol, then you...
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
They can do it in Argentina, can set up the ring, it can fall down, it can rain all over everyone. It'd be brilliant.
I'm sure that's happened before.
Yeah.
and getting spat on.
You know, caged. They locked them up, didn't they? Caged them up.
Yo, Hamada, did you see this fight? Or this card?
I saw bits of the Cuenca Yang fight. Nauta's boy Yang was useless, man. He's telling us about how Ik Yang, a possible Pacquiao opponent.
Yeah, he did say that.
Terrible, man. He was like, if he wins this fight, then Pacquiao and Macao, no chance, bro. The guy should. He was getting dropped by this guy. He was getting rocked by him as well.
Yeah, he was.
And this guy's got 2 knockouts, so he's definitely packing glass.
Oh, that's a good segue. Another guy that's packing glass.
No, don't do it, man.
Kimo mentioned him earlier, man. It was a shame to see because he is a nice guy as well. But that devastating knockout, David Price versus Tepper. What the fuck, man? He was out cold. Erkin Tepper. Big left hook, man. Took him out while Pricey was trying to do the shoulder roll.
Oh, I feel bad for him, man.
Oh man.
He wants to go first. You go first, Leo.
He is the definition. Like if you look up in dictionary of a soulless fighter, like I feel sorry for him because it's clearly a mental thing with him.
Yeah,
I've never seen a fighter fight so scared. And he's fucking massive.
If he turned his mentality around and thought, look, I'll just go attack mode, he'll take guys out. But since those losses to Tony Thompson, and he's just lost his soul, man.
He was flinching in there, man. Like when he was jabbed, look, what can I say? I've never been in a boxing ring in my life, so it's difficult to say. But he looked scared, and it's a real shame to. I mean, maybe Tyson was right. Tyson said he was, a guy who just got forced into fighting. I mean, maybe he's right. Doesn't have fortitude for it.
Yeah, and
Price was knocked out clean, man. He was lying flat back like the Undertaker, but I was waiting for him to get up.
I was waiting for him to get up like the Undertaker, though. He didn't do the pop up.
Yeah, with the eyes rolling back.
Yeah, I hear everybody like, oh, on Twitter, I feel so sorry for the guy. Like, why do you feel sorry? The dude just has no chin. Like, he can't be a boxer. It's like, you know, if you want to be a sprinter, you've got to be fast. If you're not fast, he just doesn't have what it takes to be a fighter. He's got to find a new career.
Because there's something really likable about David Price. I don't know. He just seems like
a lot
a
of
good lad,
guys
man.
that fail at their career. You know how it is, Chemo. I work in business. I was in recruiting. A lot of guys seem like great guys. They get in their fucking job and 6 months in, you're like, damn, we're gonna have to fire this guy.
But they're just typing. They're not getting punched in the face for a living. You know.
Yeah, but it goes to the same thing. If you just don't have a certain skill that you need to be successful at what you do, like he's not able to take a punch. He can't be a boxer.
I'm never going to feel sorry for someone who works in the city who loses their job. It's a different. I feel sorry for him because he's an all right bloke. He seems like a nice guy, and you don't want to see him.
Yeah, but nothing's preventing him from earning a living the rest of his life somewhere else.
I think you're being a bit cold, Kev.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm the hater.
Kev's right, though. You have to retire, man, because
he has to retire.
He's going to be
sorry for why he's doing it.
He's just going to be Audley Harrison all over.
It sucks, man, because you see, he's obviously working. He works hard. He's in shape. You know what I mean? He tries to do it. He has a defect. Like, this isn't basketball. This isn't, you get hit in the face in the sport.
There was a lot of pressure put on him by casual fans over here and newspapers and stuff. And he just couldn't handle it mentally. So it's tough to watch someone.
Because of the amateur career?
Just because he was a bit, a big heavyweight, looked like he's not.
He had a whole city. He had a whole city. Basically,
so it's not nice to see someone crumble under that kind of pressure, man.
His chin was well documented, though. In the amateurs, apparently, I heard he was dropped like 12 times.
That's unbelievable.
Fury did it when he was 17.
Said he dropped him a couple of times when he was 17 years old.
Yeah. And Burmese Vern dropped him.
Because that's just a certain skill, and like you said, Leon, I'm never in a ring or whatever.
Yeah.
I get in the ring to do a sparring when I was in the Navy. I get hit. The first thing I want to do is suplex somebody. Like, I don't like getting punched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not scared to admit it. I don't like getting punched in the face. Like, I don't react well to it. So as soon as I do, I tie people up. So I was no use. I wasn't giving anybody good work. You know what I mean? I was in shape, but I couldn't do anything. And like, that's just, this guy, like he works hard. He's in shape. He just, it takes a certain type of human being, like guys like Triple G that know they're going to get punched in the face because they're going to deliver 3 or 4 more back. Like, they don't like getting punched in the face, but they accept it and know that they can handle it. A guy like David Price, it's just unfortunate he can't handle it. And fortunately for him, he did have a whole city behind him. So in the early stages of his career, when most people are earning shit, he was earning decent money. So at least he got a good start for the rest of his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cam, I actually wanted to mention something about this as well, because you might be able to relate to this as well. David Price reminds me of when you spar at the gym, right? And you face a guy that's smaller than you, but you're kind of inexperienced, and he comes straight for you, and you don't know how to deal with him. Like, he just fucking starts winging shots at you, and you don't know how to react to it. You flinch. It's just that you've got all the advantages in range and everything, but you just don't know how to deal with the pressure and the punches coming at you. And
you give all the advantages away because you're uncomfort. Yeah,
exactly. You're out of your comfort zone, and the first thing you do is gas. The first thing you do is you get fucking tired as hell because you're tensing up and you don't know how to deal with all these punches coming at him. David Price is a professional boxer, right? He should not have this problem, but he also doesn't know how to keep people off of him with the jab, despite his bad chin. And he just doesn't have natural ability. He doesn't have the reflexes to deal with it either. He's just very awkward. He's too tense. That's why he's in great shape, but he gasses out.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have it.
Chemo,
it's just not.
It's not
just
having
the chin.
The reflexes. It's like you don't see the punches coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I can relate to that, man. But again, that only happens when you step into the gym. And the first few months where you start sparring, you slowly start to get more comfortable with it. But him, it seems like he never really adjusted to this, and he just can't deal with it. He wasn't in there with a world beater. He should have kept that guy at the end of his jab.
But his soul's gone, and with no soul, you can't do anything.
And he should have taken respect. He should have fucking hit him with a jab and a right hand, and he should have warned that guy, listen, dude, if you come in, then there's going to be a fucking range of punches coming your way.
And you saw that with Klitschko when he first started getting his legs back under him. Like, he would do that step back, and either, keep a jab out there to keep his distance, like, yo, dude, stay away. But every now and then he'd put that right hand right behind the jab, like a quick one, just to back him up and keep that range and let him know, yo, you're not going to just come walking in here. Because I don't think Klitschko's chin improved as much as his ability to, keep himself out of those situations that he was in before.
There's plenty of guys with bad chins, but Price just doesn't know how to deal with it. And at this rate, he's taken too much damage, man, in his career.
So it's like a bad chin plus fear, not fear, but that kind of nervousness. Where Vlad's very clinical, isn't he? He's very mentally strong, so he can protect that chin.
And he had a good mentor as well, Leon. Let's not forget that.
He had a guy who taught range. That's what Stewart did the best, is when he had taller fighters and he could allow them to use their range and fight tall. He did it with Lennox. He did it with Vlad. He did it with Tommy Hearns to some extent. Like, he taught his guys to fight tall. You see so many people give away their height. Like, it's, as a short person, I look at it like, fuck, man, you're blessed with all that height and you don't even use it. It's embarrassing.
I think go ahead, Cam.
I think another issue is Price has rotated with so many trainers after that Thompson lost. I think for the second fight, he was training with Lennox for a couple months or a couple weeks. That's what I heard. I think one of the issues was that it was just a couple weeks. It should have been longer. And then after that, he went to Booth for a couple months, and then they didn't see eye to eye. And then he was with the American guy whose name escapes me. And now he's gone back to his original trainer, Franny Smith. And I think that's been a big detriment as well, when you just don't have that stability of a trainer.
Cam, it's funny you're the one who brings that up, because you're the one who used to always talk about switching trainers. But but I think when you see guys switching trainers a lot, and I don't think it's Price, because like everybody said, he seems like a good guy, like a sincere guy, and like a hard worker. But it just seems like when people start switching trainers, they start looking for excuses, like it's not them, it's the trainer type of thing, or that there's something wrong with what they were being taught. They just need to be taught differently, and you start bouncing around, and the problem's really you. You know what I mean? And I think that's a sign of what Kimo was saying, some type of mental weakness or something that you're missing and you don't have.
That guy who was his trainer before, was he something to do with Tyson at some point?
Yeah, I think he previously trained
I think
Tyson.
I read an interview.
Who was it? It was the black dude, the skinny guy, right? Tommy Brooks?
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
He said
Tommy Brooks is a good little trainer too.
He said they split, because they broke apart. I read a thing with him saying that Price just wasn't. He was training him, he just wasn't making the improvements. Like, he was trying to get him to use his jab, and just the guy just wasn't getting any better.
Yeah,
but that's his side. That's his side of the story, right? So
there's just a lot of fundamental problems, man. One thing I noticed with Price as well is that, especially when you're that tall and you're fighting these smaller guys, when you stand straight up in the fucking air with your chin out there, and I don't care whether you're doing a shit shoulder roll or not, like, dude, you're open for these hooks, man. You're open for a guy just coming straight at you, especially if you have no threat of a jab, and just winging those hooks over the top, and they're gonna hit your chin, man. I mean, there's too many things wrong with it. It's mental with him. It's also technique. There's just, I don't know. There's just too many things with it. I don't think he's at a point where you can recover it, and it's time to just call it a day and do some analysis for Sky.
Kimo, you know what his biggest problem is? Kimo, you know what his biggest problem is?
What?
His suit.
I think that's actually his advantage, man. I fucking love seeing that guy on Sky, man.
Before we move on, does anyone think that Hearn will still try and make that fight happen for Joshua?
Oh,
yes.
Man.
Yes.
I think he will, because interview, they had a press conference, for Joshua's next fight, and they were talking about Price.
It was embarrassing. Joshua was going, I haven't won what he's won yet. I really respect him. I feel really sorry for it. Yeah, they want that fight.
I don't want to see it.
No one wants to see that.
That's a public execution.
Yeah, that's against the law. We banned that shit in the 18th century, didn't we? Fuck.
I think they should have just got Price to fight him in September.
Yeah.
Instead of Price having this fight, cash him out, or
no, Price went for this fight instead.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Price was supposed to be on that Liverpool card, and then I guess the plan was to have Price in September, but he went the European route instead, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Price, I'll quickly say, first round from the first bell, I knew I fucked up when I picked Price. I knew straight away he was getting knocked out because he looked so scared in there, man. It was actually crazy to watch where he's letting the jab go, but you can see there's nothing on the jab, man. And where's the right hands? Before Price used to throw a nice right hand, and once that right hand hits you on the button, you're going down. It doesn't matter who you are, But he's scared to let it go. And I don't know what he's doing, man. Philly chilling on the inside like that. Tepper just ate him up. Every time he got inside on Price, he froze up. Didn't hold on to him and nothing. He needs to get out of this sport. I don't want to get knocked out again. I didn't even see the knockout. My eyes went away from the screen for a second. I come back and he's out. He's flat out. He's flat out, and I didn't even know what happened. And then I saw in the replay, I was like, Jesus Christ, Price. But yeah, man, I don't want to see him. I don't want to say I don't want to see him again, but for his health, I don't want to see him again. I don't want to see this guy. I don't want him to be like another Oldley where he's getting knocked out for fun, over in Germany or somewhere where they just use him for their up and comers. Because it sounds like the Soundlands wanted to have another fight again. It sounds like they're not done with him yet. But I don't want it to happen.
Dude, if they make that Joshua fight, that's really scary, man. I mean, look what a fat, out of shape, kebab eating German Turkish guy did to him. What do you think one of the most powerful athletes in boxing is going to do to him, man? He's going to kill him.
Well, the other guy's part German, so he might just be stronger than Joshua, son.
Oh man, no, dude, Joshua fucking.
That's decades of breeding, bro.
Oh, nah, I don't want to see it, man. It's
now,
really...
and you got to watch out for Price because it's like in football, American football, when guys get knocked out cold a certain number of times, like you only got so many in you before you start getting those post-concussive syndromes and you get black spots in your vision and shit like that. Like he's not getting just like, beat up. He's getting knocked out cold. Like his head's bouncing off the mat.
Even this knockout, Kev, people were like rushing into the ring, man, because he wasn't moving. He was laying there like a corpse.
And the thing is, once you start getting those, your capacity to take a punch gets less and less and less. And if he was getting beat around like that in the amateurs, this is something that's been developing and was bound to happen,
And the thing is, guys, like, don't get me wrong, Tapper's a heavyweight and he can bang, but I don't really think it was a big shot, but I don't think it was a devastating shot. But the way fucking Price collapsed, man, you would have thought he got hit by Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like this dude had full leverage and Price was spinning right into it, like the way you see like people trade left hooks and one gets there first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The punch was on the button. It was definitely like accurate, but like you said,
but he had to reach for it a little bit, because Price was back towards the corner. He was coming, like he had to reach towards it,
Yeah.
I don't remember if Price saw the punch coming because I really have to see it in a good quality stream to see where he's looking when the punch comes. But he probably wasn't even looking, man. People who panic, people who are very jittery and confusing, they just don't see these punches coming. So that makes it like 10 times as worse. And then there you go. You just get knocked out cold.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Let me give the chat room a bit of a shout. We got Bill
shout
Bones.
Out to the chat.
Bill Bones 101, Basileus, Michael McDonough, B. R. D. Hay, Tico 1, CC 1589, Mr. Dermo, London Box, Davis Lee 1, Zolo 90, Nunes 83, Low Country, Super Merc, Beast Mode, Davy Boy Essex, shout to Davy Boy, hooking up some fights on YouTube, Marky Mark, TMT, Joe Morgan, Zane's World, Rob Palmer 135, Aston XL, Kevlar, Lucan, Wasif 1, Deleted, Jisweed, I don't know what the rest of that is. It might be a swear word. Might be a swear word, so I won't say it. Shams 1000, PM versus Casual Fan, Diehard Casual Fan, Michael Live Dogs, and 15 guests. And give a quick mention to the top 10 of the Coalition Prediction League. Basileus still in first place. Hamada gone from third to second. Bit of a better week for you, Hamada, this week. Choppy Hover obviously dropped down into third. James Bennett up one place into fourth. The Marcus Marvo 5th, Inverness Mark 6th, HR 186 7th, Mun 8th, Minor Bongo My Boy in 9th, and Arizona Slim in 10th. Alright, let's get some callers on. I promised Joe I'm going to get him on first. He was the first person to jump in the queue.
My boy.
Shockwave Joe, we should call him.
Yo, I like Hammering Hamada, man. That's a good name.
You like that, Kimo?
I like that, man. It suits you. I like that.
Shockwave Joe. You there, Joe?
Alright, boys.
Yeah, man. Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Cracking weekend, right?
Wicked. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, there's only one place to start, really, isn't it? And that's with the St. Helens super middleweight.
Oh, shit.
Fucking hell. That was the fucking only shit fight on what was a really good card. I really enjoyed Saturday night until we had to witness some more shockwaves being made. Fucking hell. Hearn's shameless, isn't he? He just has to slip one in. Even on a good card, he's got to give us one fucking showcase. But, yeah, mate, I was gutted for Crolla. Like, I really enjoyed the John Murray fight, but this one not so much. I don't know whether it was Perez wasn't as entertaining as Murray. He was more of a sort of a come forward fighter, but you know, I thought it was a close fight anyway, like closer than what they were making it out. And I think with the point deductions, you've got to give it to Crolla. Without, it would have been a close fight, but fair enough. Like Perez was just fucking doing 1-2s on his nutsacks like fucking throughout the fight, and you got to take a point off. So for me, I think Crolla won that fight. And fucking Hearn's been kicked in the nuts really there, because he could have almost had Mitchell and Crolla, 2 world champs, and they've both fucking been defeated. One rightly, one probably in more contentious circumstances. But yeah, I thought it was a decent enough fight, and I'm just a bit gutted for Crolla really.
Yep. What did you think about Quigg's performance?
Oh man, fucking. I really enjoyed it. I think Quigg, he's not like the truth or anything, but you got to give it to him. And credit to Joe Gallagher, because I know he gets a lot of hate on a lot of different forums, but you know, he went back in that first round, told him lean to the right and put the uppercut in. Quigg did that, and that was it. So all credit to Joe Gallagher, mate.
Definitely, Sir Joe, the new Sir Joe.
No.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people took pleasure in the fact he still hasn't trained the world champ, and he rents a gym from Amir Khan. But you know,
Chad Hogan's definitely celebrating it over the weekend.
Yeah,
he was out of control.
But no, fair play to Quigg. You know, I still think Frampton beats him, but he's made that fight a hell of a lot closer than what a lot of people probably originally thought. Like some people probably think Frampton schools him and knocks him out, but I don't know, mate. Quigg's got legitimate power, and he's fucking massive for the weight as well. And let's talk about Frampton going up to featherweight. He's fucking bollocks. He's quite small for super bantamweight, and there's no way he's going up to featherweight. Not a chance.
I agree with you, Joe, man. I think Frampton doesn't live the life outside the ring, because Quigg don't seem to struggle to make weight. He always talks about how he lives the life. I don't think Frampton lives the life if he's struggling at the weight, because he shouldn't be. I don't think so. Even though he's quite a stocky kind of guy, but I don't think he should be.
But Quigg looked like a monster compared to Frampton on that time they stood next to each other on Frampton's, I guess, Avalos fight.
Yeah,
exactly.
He looked like a monster compared to him, and I think that would give, I don't know, Frampton some trouble.
He's at least 3 inches taller, and his arms must be about a meter longer.
Yeah, and he's not a skinny guy. Like, he's still put together for a light, 122, 126, whatever he's at. Like, he's not like, Frampton's a little stocky, but he's not that much like more built than Quigg. Like, it's crazy when they stood next to each other that they're in the same weight,
I don't think Frampton doesn't live the life. I just think he's just not big enough. I just think he's maxed out his frame to the point where he can go up in weight obviously, but not effectively. And I think Quigg obviously lives like a proper Spartan lifestyle. Like, I can imagine him being back in the gym today, fucking doing fucking 12 rounds on the pads or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't see that guy doing anything else other than training.
No, that's AJ, Joe. Back on the pad straight after. Not Quigg.
He does that in the dressing room, doesn't he? No, but I thought just a quick shout out to my boy Chris Jenkins on the undercard as well, because you guys passed over that fight. You know, he fucking had 9 months out of the ring and he came back and he had quite a tough fight against Tyrone Nurse, who's fucking underrated because he lost to that Dave Ryan. That's because he was fucking wasn't concentrating and got knocked down twice and lost a majority decision. Like, I fucking think Tyrone Nurse he's not like fucking world class or anything, but he's quite hard to beat and he's proper awkward. And you know, Jenkins he's only like about 10 minutes away from me, like in the next town over. But you know, I think he's all right. And I think if they made the rematch, because he's had that 12 rounds, it was the first time he'd gone 12 rounds. I think he beats him in the rematch. So yeah, a little shout out there.
I don't know how Nurse gets away with having his hands down so low when someone's so close to him. His reflexes isn't that good, you know. But Jenkins was gassing from the 10th round. I have to say he was lucky to get the draw. I thought Nurse deserved it.
Yeah, I did as well. I thought he was lucky to get it as well. But I think he'd never gone 12, and I'd seen him in fights before. I'd seen him in Fight Live twice, and he was much more explosive. And I think I think he just overtrained for it, because a lot of people were quite high on Jenkins as well before the fight. He was quite a heavy betting favourite, but no, I think it will only do him well. And but I don't get how Nurse keeps on getting all these Sky gigs. He's so fucking boring.
It's because he's Matchroom, isn't it?
I know, but why are you signing him? He's fucking.
Eddie Hearn has to have a few of them, you know.
Yo, Nurse looks like a bootleg version of Amir Imam.
Some bloke in the chat said earlier that he's David Hay on crack.
Oh shit!
But I'll tell you, I'll tell you who's fucking irate. Just as like a little random point, is a guy called O'Hara Davis. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
Yeah, we know about him. He's one of Hearn's prospects.
He's like one of Sims's boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Bruce knows about him. Bruce, I think Bruce sees him train sometimes.
Yeah, apparently him and Campbell have some really good spars.
Yeah. What weight, is he lightweight as well? Is he?
Yeah, he's lightweight. Yeah.
He's quite big though.
Yeah, he's like 5'7", something like that. Lightweight.
He's got some freakishly long arms.
Yeah. If he gets more technical, then he can go far. But he's quite. You can see he's an athlete. But if he gets the technique down, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But what did you want to say about him? Just want to say that.
Say again?
You just want to say about him, just to say he's one to look for.
Yeah, I watched a few of his fights anyway, and I caught one of his other fights today, and I think he's pretty decent, isn't he? Like for a prospect. But I don't know. I'd give a little shout out to him because I think he's gonna be alright. But no, just a quick call for me today, boys, innit? But like, I don't know when we're gonna have to start talking about Berto sometime soon, innit? Because it's pretty likely, innit? So fucking get all those TMT boys coming out of the woodwork trying to fucking defend their god. But hey, you can't defend that, mate. I don't get how big of a fucking Flomo you are. That's fucking disgraceful.
Yeah.
Martha, do you want to come in there?
I ain't got a problem with it. He gave me Pacquiao, so I don't care. He can fight who he wants.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
He gave me Pacquiao.
He gave me Pacquiao.
Yep, he gave us Pacquiao 6 years late, so now he can fight Bumpto. I know, fucking.
But I don't know. I think it's probably like a bit early. This deserves a whole
we got months away
podcast.
from that. That's something we shouldn't even talk about until like the week of the fight.
Well, until it's confirmed, I guess, isn't it?
It was confirmed today, pretty much.
That's what they're saying, but like I've read that it's not 100% confirmed. So
I think that's the best thing though for boxing is that he fights him, because now we might get Khan and Brook or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why I'm happy with it. So these guys can stop ducking each other, stop name dropping Floyd, saying, "Oh, I'm waiting for Floyd," and just fight each other.
Yeah, that's always an excuse, right? I'm waiting for Floyd. I'm waiting for that payday. But at the end of the day, Amir Khan's going to make more money fighting Brook than he's going to be fighting. He's going to get paid what, $2.5 million to fight Floyd. He's going to make like $6-7 million.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to fight Floyd for the money. It's about the name recognition.
Yeah, he wants to be the guy who beats Floyd. I understand that. And that's one thing I've always liked about Khan is like he didn't shy away from big names because he was in it. He knew he was going to make money, so he was in it for, the legacy and beating fighters. But this last couple of years, he's got inactive and he hasn't fought the best. And, it's time for him to give the fight that everybody wants to see.
Khan's already talking about how he's looking to fight Mayweather and me, so...
It's almost worth it to see Khan's face when he sees his sparring partner get announced as the Mayweather opponent.
And like I said, Khan's going to be better sparring partner for the fight.
Oh, we get to fucking listen to Floyd going, before I leave the sport of boxing, I must fight Andre Berto.
Yeah, but in a Floyd accent. in a Floyd accent, though.
Yeah. But he's not a young.
I don't know what that was.
He's not a young hungry lion, so I don't know what he's going to pull out for this one.
He's a shot lion.
He's like those lions that they have to leave the pack and they go off and die on a rock.
I just want him. Hopefully, he can fight Conor McGregor in May. Isn't it, Kimo?
That is a thing. I hope so, man.
All right, Joe. Anything else?
No, that's it, boys. Fucking. Is there any boxing next week? I haven't checked this.
Kovalev.
Yeah.
Mohammedian.
Fucking quickly now. Cleverly beat this bloke that fucking Kovalev fought like 2 years ago. So before people start calling Cleverly a bum, just know that Kovalev is fucking picking up his sloppy seconds.
Yeah, Joe.
He knocked
it's
him
a
out
mandatory. It's a mandatory. Plus, we've got a great show from Frank Warren, The Magnificent Seven. Make sure you watch that.
The disappointing seven.
TBA is going to be quite busy that night. I think he's in a couple of title fights and in the main event.
Yeah.
That's it, Cam, mate. Palmer, you behave with Hamada, yeah?
All right, thank you, Joe.
All right, cheers, boys.
Right, let's get to Robert Palmer. He must be very happy with Scott Quigg's performance on Saturday. Robbie, there.
Let me just have the last bite of my sandwich, and Kimo, do some Conor McGregor impressions. It's over.
Maybe later, man. Maybe later. It's later. It's 3 a.m., man.
Shit.
You know what? You know why Khan won't fight Brooke?
Go on.
Why?
It's because Brooke's got 2 chins, Khan's got none.
Good one.
He might have David. He's got David Price's by the looks of it.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Brooke. Hearns already said that they're pushing it back to October, November, so Brooke's obviously been eating too many brownies and
kebabs.
He's probably weighing over 180 pounds right now.
Yo, Ari, I remember you saying last time this shit happened, you were like, "Oh no, it's the camera, it's the TV, it makes you look 5 pounds bigger." Bullshit.
He said when Brooke goes out of shape, the fat goes to his face.
Dude, he looks fucking huge, man. What is up with him? I think he's doing the same thing that Khan is doing with Mayweather. He's doing it with Khan. Like, unless he's fighting Khan, he's just not getting up for anything.
Wasting his prime.
He looked like Naz. You know, like...
Yeah, he did.
Now he looked like Naz.
He looked just like Naz, yeah.
Yeah. But, with Quigg, I'll cover Quigg and kind of Frampton together, but Harmada, I'm not gonna... I have a lot of respect for Harmada. He's one of my favourite callers to any of these shows, so I'm not gonna shit on too bad, but I think your bias got a bit out of control today. It was too much. I was driving home listening to the show at the beginning, and I was just laughing out loud at some of the stuff that you were saying. Come on. The thing is that my opinion of the Frampton versus Quigg fight hasn't changed, because I've always thought Quigg was underrated, and I think what a lot of people did was people put any of Quigg's success, they put it down to the opponent, and maybe what they kind of realised is that actually Quigg is a capable fighter and he does have a certain skill set. I personally think still that Frampton would win that fight, but I've always thought it was a closer fight. Whereas I think people last week thought it was a bit of a mismatch, to be honest. And now they've come more to my kind of train of thought where they think, oh, this is actually a close fight.
So I think it's always been a kind of 60-40.
Yeah, I agree with that. 55-45 or, whatever you say. Like, Quigg's a live dog in that fight. And the reason why Frampton will win that fight is because Quigg's skill set doesn't expose Frampton's liabilities, Frampton's actually Beeb summed it up pretty well on the Boxing Voice yesterday when he's talking about Frampton kind of overcommits with his shots, and his jab's not great either. And the reason for that is it's his size, his frame, like his physical limitations are what causes flaws, and that's why if he moves up to featherweight, which I think is 126, right? I don't see that working out too well for him. If he had to fight guys like Lomachenko, Walters, that's gonna cause him some problems.
Yeah, maybe he won't have to fight them though, because he's on the Heyman side of things. The Heyman people at featherweight are the small guys like Santa Cruz, Mares, and Gary Russell.
Yeah. Maybe you're right about that.
The battle of the T-Rexes.
I mean, I don't like hearing. You just got to give Quigg his credit for this weekend, and to be fair, most of you guys did. That was
I did, Rob.
I heard that. I mean, Leon, you were saying nobody was predicting it, but I was on the show last week. I said Quigg's going to do him within 4 rounds.
Yeah. Fair enough. I just didn't think it would be that devastating. So that's why you got to give him props. We asked him to fight someone of this level.
Yeah,
and he did, and he blasted him out of there. So what else can he do?
Honestly, I think he beats Donaire as well. I think Nonito Donaire's done. There's a bit of a mirage right now. He's fighting.
That power's legit, man. That power's real.
I don't know about that.
That power's real, man.
Walters knocked him out, but it still took him 6 rounds to do, and Walters nearly got dropped himself. I don't know if he's got the skill set to beat Donaire. Because again, Quigg can only fight one way.
But does he have the chin, though?
I don't think he has a chin.
Because if he can take Nonito's punches, man.
But Nonito's a massive puncher, man.
I know. That's why I'd say Donaire beats him.
So do I.
Donaire super bantamweight still a top 3 guy, if not second behind Rigo.
Yeah, and I've heard a couple other places have said that over the weekend and stuff, but they're right. He fought the man. He fought him. Everyone else hasn't fought him because they said there's not enough money. But he fought him, didn't he? You got to give him props for that.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to give Donaire. When all these other guys are making excuses, the money's not there, Donaire went and fought him, and Donaire was probably the biggest earner in that division.
Yeah, exactly.
Rob,
at this weight, he's legit.
Rob, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, go for it.
Who's got Quigg's second best win?
Rendell Monroe. And who people forget, there seems to be this, trajectory where Kiko Martinez was shit when he fought Rendell Monroe, and then as soon as he fought Cole Frampton, he was at his peak, and then he's slowly gone down the slope to where he's over his peak when he fought Scott Quigg. It's kind of convenient, and also at the same time, Rendell Monroe was over the hill when he fought Scott Quigg. I know, it just seems a little bit convenient that all those things have aligned to where Cole Frampton gets the maximum amount of credit for those fights, and Quigg gets the least.
My only issue with the Monroe as being the second best win, which I agree with, is that fight was in 2012. So why has it took him 3 years to fight? His next best.
Well, because Hearn don't pull his finger out, does he? And Quigg's not. I mean, Quigg is not this guy that sells no tickets that people like to make out, but he's not a guy that can have his own show and sell it out where they can put all the budget, or they can't put him on pay-per-view and that kind of thing. And, the way the Hearns work, there's positives and negatives to it, but they don't spend money unless it's pay-per-view. And Quigg's not been in a position where he can headline pay-per-views yet. Even with the pay-per-views, they don't spend money. We've seen that with the Rios thing, They're not prepared to splash the cash to get him over here.
But that's a problem because, one thing that people don't say about Hearn not spending money is that he's setting out arenas, so he's making money on the back end. So he has money to be getting these guys over. So he's got no excuse to not get these guys over. You know what I mean? Where the Rios fight not happening is ridiculous. Because if he's setting Brook up to get shitted on by the boxing community, where if Brook doesn't fight someone legit next, and I'm talking about a legit top 10 opponent, Brook deserves the hate. And I'll be a person, even though I like Brook, I can't defend him having 3 fights in a row versus guys who are not, world level. We've already had the Dan fight, he came back from his stab and it was mandatory. Okay. The Frankie Gavin fight was ridiculous, but at the same time, he used his excuse as, it's a quick turnaround fight. We expected a big fight now for Brook. Rios is it's good enough. It's not great, but it's good enough. I defended it when we thought it was announced. He has to be someone good, they have to push for Furman. If not Furman, they have to get someone. They have to. It seems ridiculous if they fight someone like a Van Heerden or a Bundu. That's not good enough.
Well, it seems like what's going to happen is that it's going to be Brook's going to fight in Sheffield same night as Vlad v Fury, and then they can sell the pay-per-view based on Vlad v Fury, and then Brook can fight someone like a Van Heerden.
Oh my God.
That's a joke anyway, so
people aren't going to say, no, I'm not going to get the pay-per-view because people want to see Vlad v Fury, and that's an acceptable pay-per-view main event,
Strategy-wise, that is quite clever, to be honest. But I was saying to Ari today, like, Hearn would make an excellent politician, man, because he promises so much, but then you get like a fifth of what he initially promised.
Yeah. I mean, I could defend what Ari was just talking about there with like Hearn not spending money. I'll go a response to that, but I don't want this to turn into a show me defending Hearn because that's boring. I'm bored of it, so
it's good to hear you're bored of it.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a good point. That was a good point, Cam. It's true because I'll say, for example, the Joshua fight. We were told it's definitely Chisora. If not Chisora, it's Price or White. And that was Cornish.
And Wack. He said Wack as well.
I've seen Cornish fight. Okay, he's undefeated, but he's terrible. He hasn't fought in a one. He's going to be enough one. He's going to get knocked down inside 2 rounds.
He's got the worst haircut in boxing.
he looks like Chris Dixon.
He's got like it's impossible to describe it. It's like it's completely receded apart from a little bit that's on top. And he's tried to spike it up into a mohawk with a comb over it at the front, and to top it all off, he's ginger.
I don't know what you don't think, but when I saw some pictures of it earlier today, I thought he looks like Tris Dixon.
Boxing, yeah. Boxing.
Trish Dixon's got the biggest arms in boxing, apart from Dominic Ingle.
Yeah, Tris Dixon. You don't want to be getting hit by him.
No, I think he could beat David Price, to be honest.
Alright, Rob, anything else you want to talk about?
That Amir Imam guy looks pretty good. Hopefully he gets aligned to someone other than Don King and, we start seeing some big fights. I wouldn't rule Postol out too quickly against Lucas Matisse, though, That's not a foregone conclusion.
But Imam's someone said was the mandatory for the winner of that. That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, he is. But I think people have been talking like it's going to be Imam against Matisse, and they're kind of completely overlooking Postol.
Postol, it's a good fight. I mean, I'm picking Matisse now, but it's still it's another 60-40, isn't it?
Yeah. And Eggington looked good on the undercard.
Yeah.
Chris Jenkins seems like he's been exposed as a bum, unfortunately.
That's a bit harsh. No, that's harsh. I think you're just saying that to get a joke.
Shout out, Joe.
You're getting a joke there.
Because Selby was actually born in London, like Joe Calzaghe.
Oh, really?
So unless boxers were born in England, if they were born in Wales itself, then they're just destined to be bums, unfortunately.
Oh shit! Hey Joe, you better call back in. He's coming for you. Hey Joe, he's coming for you. And I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Rob. I think you might be lying about Selby being born in London. I've never heard of that.
Let's have a little look-see.
And I've checked. I've just googled it on his Wikipedia and his box record. It says he's born in Barry, Wales.
Nah, Joe must have gone on and changed that. quick. Anyone can edit Wikipedia.
No, I don't know about that.
They come.
I don't know about that one, Rob. Sounds like another.
Who's Selby going to fight next though? Because they were saying
Montiel. Yeah, that's a decent fight.
I mean, it's okay. Like first defense, if you compare it to some other first defenses, then it's better than them. But I know those IBF rankings. There's no killers in there. Put it that way. That's part of the problem Brook has as well. There's no one in those rankings for him to fight, really.
Yep. Anything else?
Guys, I'll let you get on.
Rob, before you go.
Okay.
Who did you have winning? Crolla or Perez?
Well, I was... If I'm too into a fight, like I'm too emotionally involved, then I just don't score it. Because my scorecard will be biased. And I personally don't think that you can score a fight once you know the result. I don't value those scorecards. When people watch it back, that's my personal opinion. But I don't think it was a robbery.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a robbery either.
I think it was a fair result. I mean, if anybody won, it was probably Crolla, but I think it was a fair result. I think if Perez came back, he'd beat him because he probably thought it was going to be easy and he was just going to collect a nice paycheck and kind of move on his way. But I think he's got to fight Derry Matthews next, hasn't he?
The problem was that none of them separated themselves from each other. It was quite very level going throughout the whole fight, and I think.
But that's Crolla in every fight. Because the thing is with boxing is that you scored around 10-9. Yeah. But if you scored boxing like differently in a different way, like Crolla would still just edge it. If you were just giving them like 1 point or a half point, it would be that there was a lot of rounds that could have been scored even in that, except for round 2, which was a clear Anthony Crolla round.
Good, I was just about to ask you that question.
Yeah. But I felt bad for Crolla. Like the one thing I'll say, like I get what you guys mean about the commentary being biased, but I think sometimes people listen to that commentary and they start deliberately scoring fights the other way or unintentionally scoring fights the other way because they start trying to look for things that are different to what the commentary is. I think it can go the other way as well.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. My hate for Sky is quite real, so maybe that came into play. Yeah. My scorecard's not credible anyways, man. You're right, if you don't score a fight live, then it's not really a credible scorecard.
Yeah. And you know what? With Joe Gallagher, with that uppercut, Stephen Smith landed that same uppercut, so, you know.
Selby landed that same uppercut on Stephen Smith as well, innit?
That's probably where he learned it from. He learned it from them London gyms that Selby grew up in.
You're trolling, man. I thought Joe was your boy.
No, I'm just teasing him because he was bigging up. He came on bigging up Jenkins last week, telling us that Tommy Martin's a bomb and that
he came out a bit aggressive, didn't he?
All these London boxers that we don't. I actually think Tommy Martin's will go places. I'm not saying like pound for pound or anything, but he might win a European title or something like that. But the rest, like Ricky Boylan, you know, send him to Wales. Wales can have him. Send him packing to the valleys.
Anything else, Rob?
No, I'm good. Catch you later, guys. Good show.
Cheers. Thank you, Rob.
Peace.
All right, Kev, you've been online for a bit. Wasn't much boxing in the States. Anything you've read or heard about you want to talk about?
Nah, only thing I really was pumped for watching was I watched the Frampton fight, so I picked a good PBC card to watch because it was fucking shocking watching him get dropped like that twice early, you know?
It was pretty flash knockdowns, though. He wasn't hurt, though. Kev.
I don't think they were flash knockdowns. He got hit clean and he went down. Like, you know, I don't know. Flash knockdowns to me are like kind of when you're off balance or you don't see it. Or I don't know. Like, he got caught clean. He went down. He wasn't hurt bad. He got up, but he got hit. He lost his shit for a second and fell down. I mean, that's a knockdown to me.
Fair enough.
And then the fact that he kept getting hit hard after, like, the next couple rounds was showing that, he was getting hit, Fucking Farhood's scorecard at one time was like 8-1 Frampton. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I at least gave the opponent like 3 rounds or something, and I was like, damn. And the commentary I thought was shit, which is bad because usually commentary with Paulie, even though I'm not his biggest fan, I think is usually pretty good. But Virgil Hunter was out of his fucking mind. I don't know what he was talking about. That motherfucker was smoking some woolies or something, man. I don't know what he was talking about, man. But that fight was cool. I watched the Amir Imam fight. Was good. I watched a couple of like the fights that you already talked about, with Price and a couple of the Quigg fight. And somebody made a comment on Twitter. I forget who it was. He said if nobody watched either Frampton or Quigg until this weekend, no one thought anybody would ever have picked Frampton over Quigg. And I think that's like the feeling coming out of this was like, maybe that fight's a lot closer than people thought a couple months ago. And that makes people want it more. But unfortunately, like most fights in boxing, we don't get the ones we want.
Kev, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Do you think most people would view Frampton's performance as he's not this hype that he's being built up by, you don't believe the hype? Or do you think people think, oh, this guy's exciting to watch, he's entertaining?
With Frampton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was because of his offense. I think in his last couple fights looked so good and so smooth that I think people always thought they were going to get a shootout and a good, exciting fight, even if he was against somebody that he was superior than, you know what I mean? But I think his height is an issue. This guy was way bigger than him. It looks like Quigg's a lot taller than him, and I think that's going to be an issue. He's going to get hit a lot coming in because he wasn't moving his head at all.
Wait. See, that's where styles. It's about styles because Quigg doesn't fight tall at all.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Quigg either. I'm just saying that he had a problem dealing with the height, and when Frampton's in exchanges, he doesn't move his head at all. He's like stiff. He squares up and gets stiff, and I didn't see that last fight, so I was surprised.
No, he usually does move his head. So it was a bit.
Yeah, so maybe he just looked at this fight like a vacation, like he was coming to the States and he wasn't as dialed in. You know what I mean? Everybody has off fights. Nobody's on point and hits their peak at the right time every fight, But I think a lot of people now are starting to say, well, look at what Quigg just did to Kiko, as opposed to what Frampton did. So maybe it was just hype and people were just happy about the guy's style and the fact that he gets raucous crowds and stuff like that. But I think there's a little more substance to Frampton than that.
Cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
Imam, I really like Imam. I mean, I think he looks like he gets hit too, so I think he'll be in fun fights, like firework fights, because he believes in his power. So when a guy believes in their power like that and they come forward, even giving up their height sometimes, they're going to get hit a little bit. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? I think that makes for fun fights. And I just want to see him fight some of the top guys. I think he's calling out the wrong guys when he's calling out PBC guys because I just don't think he's going to get matched with him. I don't think Al's going to let a Don King fighter knock out one of their guys like Broner or something on a NBC or ABC, whatever, CBS card.
Well, he wasn't really calling them out, though, Kev. He was just saying, like,
but he's been calling out Broner for, like, the last year, though.
But he wasn't saying, like, I want to fight you. He was saying, like, I know you're not going to fight me, and you're just cherry pickers.
Yeah, and that's because for the last year he's been calling those guys out. And I only follow him like that because Lukey put me onto him, and, it's hard to find stuff on him, but he's basically been calling those guys out for over a year, so now he kind of switched up, and he's like, these guys are fake, and I know they ain't going to fight me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think he needs to build up his name a little bit more before Garcia would fight him.
It's hard for a guy.
No. He's done enough.
Scary. It's hard for a guy who has scary power to build up if no one's going to. Think about it. If Heyman owns 70% of the people in that division and he's not serving them up to Imam, how's he going to build up his name? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Ari, just to respond to that, he for the threat that he poses, he hasn't done enough for.
Well, again, he'll be fighting for the WBC belt soon. But Garcia's gone up to 147, mate. So that fight isn't, unless he goes up, that fight won't happen anyway. But yeah, Broner. But we know Broner will never fight him.
Exactly, that's never going to happen.
All right, I'm just trying to wait.
I hope he gets a shot at the winner of Postal, Matisse.
Yeah, he will. He will definitely get.
That's something but a lot of people find ways to get around their mandatories. Come on, man, you know that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they get approved for a voluntary before the mandatory, and then the fight just never happens. Like I don't know. I've just seen it too much, but I would like to see him against the top guys to see if his power and his style translates. Because sometimes you look like an A-class fighter when you're fighting lower level guys, and then you step up to the top and it doesn't translate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just thinking now, like, if obviously, like Rob Palmer was saying, we shouldn't look past Postol, but I do think Lucas would beat him. If Lucas and Imam do fight, man, I think that's a 50-50 fight, because they both have got really good strengths, man, and Lucas shown that he can box against Pravamnikov. He's not just a big slugger, but he's also shown vulnerabilities like he did against Molina, man. So I think that's a very close 50-50 fight.
Yeah, but they both have very similar styles, relying on their power as well as potentially, being able to be there to be hit and stuff like that.
But let's not forget, for somebody, it's going to be a humongous step up, huh? And for somebody, it's not going to be one.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, and we won't know until he gets to that level if it's going to translate.
Matisse has seen it all.
I don't think it would be 50-50 just because of the discrepancy of talent that they fought.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, you're right.
So maybe that'd be more of like one of those 60-40 type of fights, where if the line is heavy on Matisse as a favorite, that Imam would be a live dog and people would put their money on him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I could see myself favouring Imam just because I've seen Lucas beat outbox before.
Yeah. Lucas is a type of fighter. I think those guys get old overnight, like Ruslan and those guys that been through a couple of wars, and you know what I mean. I think sometimes those guys just lose that half a step and lose that little bit off their punch, and that drops them a long way.
Yeah.
Either way, I think either one of those fights would be a fun fight, because Postal is a guy who uses a good jab and a long right hand, and he could circle the ring. So now we'll see how Imam does against something like that. I just hope that it happens. There's too many fights that don't happen, so I hope that fight happens. By the end of this year, that'd be good.
Definitely. Right, I'm just trying to get MV2 on. Should be home soon after his shift from at work. You guys want to discuss anything before Chew gets on?
Did you guys see Barry McGuigan sweating at ringside? That was awesome.
Chugging down that bottle of water.
I think he's in love with Frampton, man.
I think he wishes he was his son,
I think it's more than that, Cam. I think it's very deep.
Allegedly.
He lives through Frampton. He is Frampton.
He is Frampton.
Someone said it earlier, and they're right. I just seen a boxing scene. Khan says, this the headline: I think Mayweather's done. I might be next. Fucking hell, Khan, man. Just move on, mate.
Get over it.
Just move on.
He's not, man. I think he's like this guy that can't get over his ex-girlfriend, man. It's just like, it's over. Just move on. What are you doing?
Well, now he'll say, now he'll go on. He'll fight. I'm going in. He'll fight another feather-fisted guy in like December. Then he'll talk about Mayweather, and then he'll wait for that Mayweather in May. Mayweather decides to fight again, and he'll be the same. Oh man, he's ruining his own career for the sake of it.
And then Brook will do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Only worse, because Brook hasn't fought shit yet in his career, except
Porter.
Yeah, you really want me to whip out the box rack and compare the resumes?
Porter. I'm just saying Porter. That's
where it ends, mate. That's where it ends.
That's where it starts, and that's where it ends.
I'm still waiting. I know that's where it is, but I'm still waiting for Khan to fight someone real at 147.
Nah, Kimo, you can't forget Matthew Hatton though. Come on, bro.
Fucking hell, man. Brook's resume is shit. Okay.
Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares.
I'm saying it's not.
The fact of the matter is, Khan is ducking Brook.
He's just obsessed with his Mayweather payday, man. And the thing is, I've said this before, I think Khan knows the threat that Brook provides, and I think he wants to get that Mayweather fight. At least he thinks he can. He can get that fight, and everybody who fights Mayweather will come out with no damage, and still have a career, because this is the way Mayweather fights. Like you get beaten by him, and then what? Oh, it's all good. He's the best fighter pound for pound. So you continue your career. I mean, it's happened with Canelo. It's happened with everybody. So he thinks he can get away with that. If he fights Brook in front of 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium, and he gets knocked the fuck out, I mean, that's the end of it, isn't it? That's the end of him being an quote unquote elite fighter. So he knows that shit, man. I think Khan just has a terrible way of talking to the media. He needs to get himself a fucking PR person, man. Really. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, you sit down with Quigg and Cassius and you talk bullshit for 25 minutes. It just makes you look like an asshole. Like, I don't know what he does, man. Like, some people, they just duck and they just act stupid. Like Danny Garcia, for example, when you interview him about a duck, like, he just talks so stupid, you just can't be bothered to talk to him. There's just no holes that you can go through. Like, you're just like, whatever, man. This guy's just a fucking robot, and he's just repeating it's up to Al Heyman and this and that. That's what Khan should say. Just, I'm going to fight whoever Heyman puts in front of me and shut the fuck up. But what he's doing now is just it's just silly, man. Like, the guy doesn't know how to deal with media. I think he's completely oblivious to the way people perceive him. I really think he does. But from a business perspective, if he gets the fight, I see where he's coming from. But if he doesn't, he just looks like an ass.
Yo, Ari, I'm seeing on Twitter right now, the Khan fans are upset, man, that he's not getting the fight. It's like the Khan fans missed out on fighting Floyd as well.
Yo, big bro and little bro.
Yeah, but dude, does anybody really believe it's Berto, honestly? I don't, man.
Nah, it's Mayfield, man. It's Mayfield.
I know neither, man. It's not one of these guys.
It's Berto, but it's not pay-per-view. It's going to be on CBS, and that's why he's allowed to sell this.
So Mayweather is going to fight on fucking CBS.
Yep.
To me, I don't know. That's just me. To me, that sounds fucking crazy.
How's he going to get his
next pay-per-view was never really going to sell a lot anyway, because all the people are pissed off that he beat Pacquiao. When you really think about it, it's not like. If Pacquiao can't beat, they'll casual see it like this. If Pacquiao can't beat him, who really can? That's what they'll see it like, and they'll give up on trying to see him lose and pay money to see him lose. So he's fighting on free TV.
But my point about this is, right, all the free TV shit. That's fine for American guys, and I'm happy for you. That means shit to me, really.
Yeah, you're right.
It means nothing to me, man. I don't.
Yeah,
care
but you'll be on
about
Box
that.
Nation.
Yeah, but his fights have been on, his pay-per-views have been on Box Nation.
Yeah.
The only pay-per-view I've ever had to buy for Mayweather was
let's
the
just say it like
Pacquiao
this
fight.
then. Who cares?
Who cares? I just want a good fight.
Right. Gave us the Pacquiao fight. Now, he can do what he wants. It's not like anyone really cares,
I don't care, but
seriously, who's going to beat him? You really think about it. If he's not going to fight,
Lofkin.
So let him do what he wants, retire. Let's move on.
The truth is, it's the same result either way. Thurman, Brook, Khan, Berto. It's all Floyd, UD. Maybe Khan, maybe knockout, but other than that, it's just the same result. Like,
nah.
I don't really care.
Khan's a good fight, man. You can't.
Stop it.
It's not.
I'm not
Check
stopping
left
anything,
hooks
man.
all day. Check left hooks, right hand.
Can't
Cannot defend a right hand.
Dude, it don't fucking matter. It's a nice action fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, Berto just stands in front of him. It's just gonna be crap, man.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see it. I'm not co-signing this fight. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm a Khan hater, and I'll say I'm happy to see him not get it. But I'll keep it real.
You're not my other point. You're not TBE if you go out on this fight.
Yeah, but he knows he's not TB. He's just winding you up, calling himself TB. Floyd knows there's other greater fighters than him out there. Come on, be realistic. It's just what to wind up the fans and make him more hated and build more interest. He knows what he's doing, man.
You're such a Floyd lover, huh?
It's the truth.
What a goal to be hated by people. What a horrible way to live your life.
300 million versus Pacquiao. Does he really care what you think?
No, he doesn't give a. But he never gave a fuck, man. He never gave a fuck about anything.
Yeah, he's morally bankrupt anyway, so it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about, we're doing it for the fans. He never gave it two shits about the fans, man.
This is for his flow modes. This fight's for his flow modes.
Yeah, but forget that. Let's talk about the guy who flew the flag for us over here.
Who's Kelly Brook?
To give up to put down the gloves.
He was flying the flag when Khan was busy getting knocked out. Because you know that time, Ari, we had Khan, Hay, and Froch. Like, that was it.
That's our only champions, isn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
the flag.
Days of British boxing, the dark days.
Yeah, the dark days.
Dark days.
Froch was doing this thing without a TV provider.
Exactly. No pay-per-view, nothing.
Abraham fight was only on radio.
Going abroad. Going to Finland to fight Abraham. In America to fight Glenn Johnson and all of that.
Watch vs Kessler, where it was hard to find a British feed.
Yeah, man. I need travel during that dust cloud.
Already, man.
All right, Leon, don't start. We know you.
Kessler had that soul snatch in front of 50,000 people, mate.
Cobra Froch finally packed it up. You know, he kind of embarrassed himself this past year, but he finally decided.
This past year.
The girlfriend. So.
I have to say, yeah, I liked Froch before he got with Eddie Hearn and Sky, and then we just found out how much of a cunt he is. Up until then.
You only found out then.
Before then, he was fine, man. I was alright with Froch. He was fine anyone, anywhere. But then, when he signed with Matchroom and Sky, he became this cash cow, like he likes to call himself, the money in the division, as Eddie Hearn likes to call him. He started taking the easy way out. You have to think about, like, alright, cool, Lucian Bute and was a tough fight, obviously, after the Ward fight. But after that, he fought Yusuf Mack. He brought Yusuf Mack down from light heavy. He was bullshit at light heavy, and he brought him down from light heavy. And then he fought Kessler, who's shot. Kessler's done it. I'm going to tell you why Kessler's done. Because Kessler ain't fought again since then. Kessler was done. That was a cash out for Kessler. And then he went and fought Groves. Listen, say what you want about Groves. Groves gave him a tough fight because Froch didn't take him seriously. Froch thought, I knocked him down in sparring. If I just land one punch, Groves has got a glass chin. You know what I'm trying to say? So, it should have been a show. Groves was a showcase fight, which went wrong. That's what people forget about the first fight.
Actually, I disagree with that, man. I mean, it wasn't a showcase, dude. I spoke to a lot of people that said Groves is a live dog. Yeah, he's an underdog, but he's a live one.
People are moaning that it was pay-per-view at first.
Yeah, I can see that, but that's a different topic, man. I'm not talking about pay-per-view or not. I'm talking in general. The Groves fight was a decent fight. It wasn't a bad fight.
Let's be fair. He ran the gauntlet. He ran the gauntlet for a long time. So if it got a bit easier towards the end of his career, that's what they all do.
But he fought everybody. Who else was he going to fight?
Fought everyone.
Yeah, but he goes on about he's this warrior and he does this, he does that.
Look, Hamada, we know in the ring he's a warrior and he's done this. You've been a great fighter for the country. Outside of the ring, he's a fucking bellend.
That's true.
It's just too. It's like the Floyd thing, like you always say. It's the same thing. We know he's a dickhead. So it's like I've always watched his fights and find him entertaining, but then as soon as the bell stops, I despise him again. He's a bitter, paranoid man.
Yeah. All right. God, man.
No, he's right. Leon's right.
You two are like a tag team of salt.
He shits on Ben and Eubank and Collins and Kessler, and then Calzaghe. He shat on all of them at one point in his career, talking bullshit. All four of them beat him, and it's not our fault he's not loved. We loved them fighters. You're a dick. That's the end of it. Can't be shit on those. Man.
But this has been there for a while because I remember watching the. How many years is this ago when he fought Darrell, and then the decision came, and his post-fight interview. I thought he was such an arrogant schmuck. You know, the way he was fucking conducting himself afterwards. Like he didn't even want to give any credit to Darrell. And I hate Darrell, but I'm just saying like it was a close fight. You know, just be a little bit humble in defeat, and be a little bit humble in victory. And he was just such a fucking cunt, you know. Like he I don't know. He's got a huge ego, and that knockout in Wembley in front of 80,000 people was the worst thing that could happen to him. Because now it's just out of control. And by the way, he is a boxing version of a fucking dick teaser, what he was doing in the last months before his career, man. He was teasing us with a Golovkin fight, man.
He puts out a picture, too big, too strong for GGG. Following week, retires.
Fucking bullshit, man. People actually believed that shit was going to happen. I mean...
But look...
Well, I always said it was never going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that as well, but... You know, you start wondering for a moment, like, oh, Carl Fudge the Warrior, is he really going to take it?
Nah. Because
you're just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just attention whoring. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, he likes to take the shine off people. That's what it is. He likes to take it from people. He's spiteful like that. But look, he was a great fighter. Loved watching his fights. I saw him fight a couple of times live. In the ring, total respect from me. Just so for all those people out there who know I hate him, but just got to say that, you know, the guy was a fucking hell of a fighter.
He was.
He's still a
he
prick.
Was. I picked against him a lot of times, and every time he came out on top, man. So in the ring, I gotta give him props as well, man. And he's always had a very awkward style. I could never really read him, and I thought, for example, against Abraham that he would struggle, and then he completely outboxed him, for example. I always thought he had defensive flaws, but then somehow he always just got through, you know. And that first Kessler fight was amazing, man. I still watched that quite a few times.
If only there hadn't been the volcano going off, he might have won it.
The ash cloud.
and he lost to Andre Ward because it was too close to Christmas.
Yeah, he was out shopping, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was thinking about Christmas. He didn't want to fight. He just wanted to go back home for Christmas. You know what? I'll give Froch credit. Froch has something that you can't teach. He has something like that toughness, the resilience, the will to win. Like Froch was he's probably one of the hardest guys to beat. Like you can tell Groves was probably disheartened after 6 or 7 rounds where he was battering Froch, and he just thought, you know what? I don't know what to do. This guy won't go away. It's kind of like Rocky, where these guys, they couldn't get rid of Rocky, and then they're just thinking, this guy just won't go. Like, what do I do?
Hamada, I just want to bounce off that. What you said, like this thing that you can't teach. Like he's the opposite of David Price. He's got that fighter's fucking mentality where he will not relent. You know, like he will not quit, and he's a pure fighter. As much as I also despise his personality, he's literally the definition of a fucking fighter, and he's dangerous till the very end of the fight. Even in the 12th round, he will come and he will fucking strike.
He's like he's made the most of all his talent. He's like that Arsenal team in the early 2000s. He's like the Ray Parlour. Like no one ever expected him to be that good, and then he ends up among these world-class players playing well. That's Froch. He's like, he couldn't have got any more out of his career than he did. So you've got to give him that. He's like you said, he's a determined man.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Yeah. And what he did in Wembley. I mean, as much as I'm a Groves fan.
8,000 people, man.
Yeah. I mean, I never expected him to take the fight, but he was just, I don't know if he was pressured into it or not, but it happened, you know, like everybody was saying he was. Yeah, but remember, Ari, this is what I also said about Kell Brook and Khan. Like, everybody was saying Fudge was ducking him. He was publicly ducking him, basically. Like, I'm not going to take it again. Why should I do
Kimo, that was for like a couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you can't...
Khan's been doing this for years. He told Brook, go win a world title, and then Brook's done it. It's going on for years. It's not the same, Kimo.
All I'm saying is my perception a lot of times has changed. I don't want to drag this back in, by the way, but I'm just saying my perception regarding ducking has changed over the years, especially because we got Pac Mayweather. So, I mean, for Froch, what he did in Wembley, I mean, yeah, he fucking crushed me, man. I can say that. Well, what he did by stopping Groves, that was just brutal, man.
I got a funny story about that. I was watching the fight. I remember I was in where was I? I was watching the fight on a stream somewhere. I forgot where I was. I'm not sure. I was at home, and then the stream like broke down just before the knockout. So then the stream came back up, and I'm seeing Groves on the floor with his knee all bent up, and I'm thinking, what the hell just happened here? Like. And I saw the replay after, so I actually missed that knockout live.
You bum.
How's my stream? It's not me.
You should
have got the pay-per-view, man. What are you playing at?
Even I paid for it.
I weren't at home, that's why. I don't think I was at home that day. That's why I couldn't remember where I was.
Yeah, you're a cheapskate, man.
You sound shady. It sounds like you're doing something shady, man.
Just sort of knee buckling and Groves and Chemo's souls both in there.
Yeah, a little up in the air. Oh shit, man! I still got my Grove shirt though, man.
You haven't worn it since though, right?
No, I have. I still sleep in it, man.
Grove for life.
Dude, I hope, but he beats the shit out of Badu Jack and he comes back.
Yo, Hamada, BRD Hey in the chat said Hamada's stream got cobra'd.
Yeah, it probably did.
Alright, let's move on. I don't know where Chew is, but I don't want the show to go too long. And Chemo probably wants some sleep as well, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna head out soon, man. It's getting late.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about next week, you know. Obviously, Frank Buglioni was supposed to fight Chudinov, but Chudinov's injured, so that's cancelled. And as Joe Morgan said earlier, that card's a bit shitty now. It was shit anyway, but it's worse now. Biggest fight is probably Kovalev versus Mohammadi. Pascal's on the undercard against a guy I've never seen. And in Argentina, Hernandez is defending his IBF cruiserweight title against Victor Ramirez, the guy that beat Ola Alafabi. I can't pronounce his name proper. Shumanov versus Flores on PBC and NBC. And Brian Valoria versus Omar Soto Unimas. That's about it, really. You got a card got Blackwell in the UK. I think the undercards on Spike TV UK. And then the main events. On it. Yeah, the main events on Channel 5, about, I think it's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m.
Yeah, 10. Yes, 8 till 10 and 10 till 12.
Yep, that's the one.
2 channels.
So,
Fury's fighting someone better than bloody Cornish. You know, but Fury don't get the hype.
Kimo, do you want to say anything about the Kovalev fight?
What was that, Hamada? Anyway, no, regarding the Kovalev fight, not interested in, man. I'm waiting for the big fight. You know what we're all waiting for, and this guy, he's gonna get knocked that fuck out, man. I love Kovalev, but I don't want him to disappear into mediocrity fighting guys that are not on his level, man. I want that Stevenson fight, but I guess it's not happening, is it?
Nope, unfortunately not.
Nope.
Sad. It's sad.
Yo, Cam, I was gonna say, I think the Hernandez fight is off, you know.
Why?
I remember reading something about it last week. Apparently it's been pushed back to September.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check it now.
Cam, you're a Hernandez fan, right?
I am, you know, obviously, you know,
like the guy. I don't know why.
He's okay, he just gasses out, man. Like, the guy's just got, the guy's got shit stamina, man. Like, when he fought a fight, I think it was his last fight, he was wicked for 3 rounds and he just gassed out for the rest of the fight and just kind of just scraped through. But, yeah, it's the cruiserweight division. It's a weird one, like, the hardcore fans a lot of the hardcore fans love the cruiserweights, but like, you ask a casual fan for a name of a fighter in the cruiserweight division and he probably won't give you one name.
They would. They'll give you Tony Bellew.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, Cam, I just checked this off. It's not on his box right. So, yeah, the fight's off.
I'll have to pull it out. But we are joined... No, it's a bit late now to add another one, but we'll be joined by MV2.
It's about time.
Yo, what's on?
Chew, you said 10 minutes, man. That was like 25 minutes ago.
I know, mate.
Chew, man, you're late. I'm gonna crack you on the chin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Nope.
He finally fucking calls in and he's got a bad connection.
Nah, I've got it now, mate. What's happening?
This is an anticlimax.
No, well, you should have called me. You should have called me. I'm calling you. You should have called me. But fuck it. It's done. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Very good. You talked about David Price?
Yeah, man. What do you think?
I think David Price is a fucking idiot for trying to shoulder roll with a 6 foot shot doorman. The guy, I don't usually watch the weigh-ins, but I managed to catch the weigh-in for this fight. And that guy, the Erkan Tepper, he just looked like the complete opposite of an athlete. He just looked like, even by heavyweight standards, just like he'd never done a push-up in his life. And the guy just went up there. Apparently he's heavy-handed, but, you know, you can't tell with Price because everybody knocks him out. And the guy just fucking slapped him to pieces. The thing is, like, Price is just so fragile that you really do feel fear for his health every time you see him fight. So he should just retire and fuck it, man. I was really, really kind of sad at the ending. You know, what a career wasted.
Someone should have sponsored the bottom of the shoes.
Yep, exactly.
What else, Stu? What do you think of the Manchester card, Quigg and Kiko?
I think Quigg, he kind of looks like Adam Booth.
That's your analysis of the fight?
Nah, he punches very wide. He hurt Kiko, and like every punch was like a wide punch. He deserves credit. Fuck knows he's shotting him a lot, but he hurt the guy, got him out of there. Man, I think, you know, I watched the Cal Frampton fight twice. I really enjoyed that fight. Cal Frampton destroys him still. People are getting a bit excited about Scott Quigg. Wow, he beat Kiko Martinez. Great. I was picking Kiko Martinez, but that's not the point. The point is, like, Scott Quigg is flawed. He's big, he can punch, and he's got physically strong, but man, he's not on Frampton's level. He's not even on Donaire's level. And I think Donaire would knock him out, and I think Frampton would as well. It's just, that's my take on the fight. I was disappointed in Kiko. I'm not going to say he's shot, but I don't know, it was just not what I was expecting from Martinez. It was good in the first round, but the second round, he got caught by one, and then, I don't know, man, he should have just took a knee. When he was hurt, that's what, just take a knee. Instead he let fucking Scott Quigg tee off on him with the fucking wide looping punches.
Yeah, it's a good point, that.
Yeah, and the other fight I seen was Abraham Stieglitz. Man, these two have had like a kind of Dragon Ball Z fight. It just never ends. Like there'll be a fucking 10th, 11th, 12th installment coming up soon. Abraham looked like a beast. I don't know if you guys have saw that fight, but like the finishing combo that beat Stieglitz, it was like something from Killer Instinct for N64. It was just like a kind of 6-7 punch combination. And I was impressed by him, man. I know it's only Stieglitz, but you know, I'd fancy Abraham to beat, I'd hate to say it, Chemo, George Groves. I'd fancy him to beat George Groves. I'd fancy him to beat Badu Jack.
George!
Yeah. The thing is, I bet you've been doing that on night, Chemo, eh?
No, I haven't, man. I just told you I'm going to crack you on the chin, but you didn't respond.
Ah, shit. This is damn good business.
I don't know, man. I don't want to piss off Cam, man. He's, I think it's getting to him, all the MMA talk.
It's too much. It's too much.
But what do you want, man? Like, nothing's fucking happening in boxing right now, man. I gotta resort to some McGregor, you know?
Yeah, we got me with the Berto, man. That's enough.
Me with the Berto. Dude, we're gonna get McGregor versus Aldo. I mean, this is fucking fantastic.
See what I've got to say as well, and I tried to make this point to you privately, But we can bring everyone else on the call, and PBC's improved, man. I know Nonito accused me of flip-flopping, but I've got to say, Paul Malignaggi, Virgil Hunter, they're a fucking great commentary team. I tune in, not even just for the fights, just to learn things. Because when they commentate, I'm learning stuff. Like, I thought both of them were great in the Carl Frampton fight. And I think their production values they're evolving. You know, like, as soon as the round's finished, the music starts. You know what I mean? It's keeping the fans entertained.
What? That's impressive
like,
to you? That's fucking normal, man.
Well, fucking, they never used to do it. I'm sure they never used to do it. And, like, that fucking aspect that I always hear Steve Kim and shit talk about. Like, they've always been impressed by Eddie Hearn with the stage show, the fucking lights. If you can remember Cal Froch, George Groves. Like, fucking George Groves coming down on a bus. I know all the boxing fans say, it's all the fight matters, It's only the fight. Nah, man, that's fucking bollocks, man. You want a good atmosphere. It matters to the fighter as well.
You can't say the good atmospheres in their fights. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel here. Every other fucker puts music on between the rounds.
That's because
I'm not being bad, man, but I mean, I
know they do.
That's backward baby steps.
I know they do. They've just caught up with everyone else.
And as for whispers and squeaky, I'm not impressed.
You're not impressed.
Whispers and squeaky, not impressed.
You're fully subtle.
No, man. Don't need the whispering deaf and squeaky voice.
Chew's been talking to Beeb, man.
I know, man.
Chew, the problem with PBC is, and they can play some music in the background. I don't give a shit about that. The problem is they're trying to give this clean image, and it's not. Boxing is what it is. It's theater. It's a spectacle. It's a little bit dirty. It's raw. And it's in your face. It shouldn't have to be like this gentleman's sport, man. Like, I mean, I know Broner's a fucking idiot, but he releases emotion in people, for example, when he's acting like a clown. Some people hate him. Some people find him hilarious. But he brings out emotion in people. And when you start scrapping all that away and you just let the guy walk to the ring and that's it, I mean, you're just taking out a huge element of it. Like, it's about build-up, man. It's about getting people to be intrigued in a fight. And all they've done is, like, put on these cheesy-ass fucking promos, like, I'm Danny Garcia, I'm the champion of the world.
No, I'm a superstar pugilist. You're a fella.
Like, you just, like, let people be who they are, man. AB should come to the fucking ring with 50 people as an entourage and dancing around and talking shit, and have fucking Meek Mill in the background. Like, come on, man.
Do you honestly prefer that?
Yes, of course I prefer that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you talking about?
I kind of like that they walk to the ring alone.
Dude, come on, man.
WWF ring walks.
When he fought fucking Taylor in Cincinnati, that was ruckus, man.
But that's because of the crowd. The crowd hyped up as well.
Yeah, but dude, how do you hype a crowd up? By doing an entrance like that, man. Come on.
I don't know. I'm getting used to the single man ring walk. I'm getting used to it. I don't know.
It's not just about the single man ring walk, dude. When Groves fought Froch, I think, remember, Groves also came in together. But you had the lasers and you had the fucking fire starter blasting through the fucking arena.
You just said you didn't like that.
What?
Did you not just tell me that you didn't like that?
Not like what specifically?
Like the lasers and the ring walk and the fucking George Groves coming down on a red top bus. That stuff's amazing.
Yeah,
I just said I love that. I said that's what's part of the sport, and they should keep that. I've been saying that the whole time.
Well, that stuff matters.
Remember when Vlad came?
But you just said that you don't fucking mind the PBC, so I don't know why you're telling me that I don't mind it.
Listen, they're evolving. They've shown that they're prepared to change. I'm not gonna fucking. You know what's changed my mind? It's the UFC. I'm worried. Like, I've never gave a fuck about it before, but now with this fucking Irish guy coming in it, like, even casual boxing fans are fucking going, oh, it's pretty good. We need a winner with this boxing shit. Whether it's Top Rank, whether it's Al Heyman. Someone win. Let's unite. Let's get all the fights we wanted. Let's fucking pick a theme, pick the graphics, pick a commentary team. Let's stick to it. One team. one graphics, one stable. Let's fucking unite.
This sounds like Nazi Germany, Chew.
And one commentary team.
Nazi Germany.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the joy of boxing. What would we have to moan about if we didn't have all this shit to...
Yeah, you like being salty, right?
But it's part of, the romance of boxing. It frustrates you.
Exactly.
That's what
Maybe Jim Lampley could get a job in this Nazi Germany broadcast, but I don't know about the rest of the guys.
And maybe Communist Russia. Sorry, Nazi Germany is a bit too harsh.
Just a couple of million short of the Genesee.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, the worst thing you can do is just homogenizing everything, man. It's being different that actually creates intrigue, I mean, some guys like a simple ring walk, some don't, but it's the fact that everybody is different and comes out with a certain impact that just creates excitement. Like even Tyson back in the day, man, he came out on a fucking white robe. That's all he was wearing. And then you hear like this fucked up, like dark ass. It wasn't even music. It was just like growling. You remember that fight? I think it was against Spinks, for example, that he came out with, and you just like hear like in the fucking background, and everybody's just looking around like, what the hell is happening, dude? And then you see like these 50 people just walking towards the ring, and it's Tyson, and it creates such an intimidating effect. That was very stripped down. There were no lasers, there was no fire, no pyros, no nothing. But it's just a different element, like everybody has to come up on their own way.
Boxing is one of the few sports, and I know I often go, I don't think people should behave in certain ways and whatever, and everyone has their different views on it. But boxing is one of the few sports left where people can be themselves.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And you can say, so footballers can't go, do you know what, that guy's a cunt, he tried to break my leg. Do you know, and in boxers, it's out and it's raw emotion. And
exactly.
We need, even though I think sometimes it affects the good of the sport, we probably need more of it rather than lessen it.
Chew, why do you think McGregor is selling so much right now? Why do you think everybody's tuning into him?
Just the shit talk.
Exactly.
The shit talk, and he backs it up. That's all it is. That's why I'm a big fan of Keith Thurman, because he's got that kind of shit talk in him, I think.
He does. But he's still kind of polite, though. He's still a nice guy. McGregor doesn't give a fuck. Like, he fucking takes the belt from the champion, Like, he just creates drama.
Yeah, and all these fucking boxers are friends. That's my nothing.
And who else? Who's a funnier sportsman than Tyson Fury? This sport lets him do that shit, and it's epic and mental all at the same time. And I can't wait for him to. I mean, he is gonna fucking wine Vlad up so much. It's gonna be. I mean, I'm looking forward to that as much as I am the fight almost.
The press conference is tomorrow as well, Leon. It's funny you said that.
Yes. Oh man, it's just going to be a barrage of trash
He'll
talk.
be in a massive tracksuit, and he's definitely going to call someone a cunt. Yes.
Kimo, when you were talking about ring walks and that, Vladimir Klitschko, that's the only thing that's good that I like about him. His ring walks are epic.
The one that was like Troy last time when he was walking out on the title, that was
epic.
Dude, even when Canelo comes out to the Mexican music, like it just creates atmosphere, man. I just love that shit. It's one of the things I really, really love about the sport. I love buffer. I love the fucking theater, man. Boxing is theater. I don't understand people that just say like, oh, it's just about the fights. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you look at classic moments, I always associate it with an entrance, man. When I watch all Trinidad fights, like it's even the ring walk where he comes out to the Latin music, or fucking De La Hoya entering the ring, to another one bites the dust when he's fighting fucking Vargas or some shit like that. Like, dude, those are classic moments, man, that you remember for the rest of your life, man. If you strip that shit away, you're not getting the sport, in my opinion. And I'm not just hating, man. I'm speaking from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel passionate about that.
It's the most
I know what you're saying.
Remember live when we saw Eubank versus Saunders, and that's a small fight, but that atmosphere when Eubank came out was fucking electric, wasn't it?
Oh, he came out
to feel the hate.
He came out to the Still Dre beat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was.
It was so intense.
Badass.
The guys, Cam and Ari were there. You knew there was a big fight on.
Yo, Chemo, like AB says, you know, he's not just a boxer, he's an entertainer. They have a responsibility to entertain, right?
I fully 100% agree, and this is what the people love, man. The best fights that I've watched is when people are entering the ring. I have the feeling, you know, like shit's about to go down. And just like Leon said, you know, when Eubank came to the ring, like I fucking had goosebumps, you know. I was like, oh shit, here we go. Is he gonna do it or is he not? You know, like those are the moments, you know, that I love about the sport, man.
And I want emotion. I want emotion from boxing. Like, I'm in boxing for as much as I like a fighter, as much as I dislike a fighter. Like, I hate Broner, but now if he goes, I'll probably miss him a little bit. Do you know? That's what I love about boxing, because it lets me have both emotions.
Yeah.
Guys,
that's why Floyd's so popular.
That's why I hate him, you know?
Yeah, when Floyd was just the guy who boxed, like no one watched and no one gave a shit. But once everybody hated him, then he started doing good pay-per-view numbers. Before, people didn't really hate him so much when he was like fighting Zab Judah and stuff and doing 300,000 pay-per-views or whatever. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden people hated him and he did better.
Guys, I think we got Dan on the line as well. Dan, are you there?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. Dan, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Hey, when did you guys turn into the boxing voice? It's past 3 hours and it's past your bedtime, Chemo. You should go to sleep.
This is the thing.
What's the thing?
Nothing, man. Hurry up, because I need to go to sleep. You're right.
I told you, motherfuckers. That I'd ride on horseback and I'd fucking whoop his ass.
Dude, where the fuck are you now, man?
And
You keep traveling all over the States.
I'm in New York.
Now you're back in New York again.
Yeah. I moved here for good. But I just want to talk about this week's upcoming fights. I'm really pumped for the Kovalev fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think you guys are sleeping on Muhammadi. He's a good fighter. I'm serious.
You've never had a serious call in your life, man.
He has a very strong and powerful name, Muhammadi. A man is worth his name. A man is worth what his parents gave him as a child.
Are you going to pick him?
This is not the Game of Thrones.
He has a powerful name.
It's not the Game of Thrones, this is boxing.
He's not a fucking Targaryen, man.
You're only worth your name. Yes, Muhammadi, if he fought a Targaryen, I'd pick Muhammadi. But if he fought a Lannister, I might have to reconsider. But Muhammadi is a good name.
Are you picking him? Is he going to raise the gold?
This is the thing, Kimo. And but honestly, I'm just fucking around. But why are you guys on so late?
Because we had some good talks, man.
You guys were just discussing what made boxing different than other sports.
Yeah, man. We're just letting it all out.
I see. Well, I'm probably the last person you want on the call if it's regarding that discussion, because I haven't really been watching shit in the past couple of months. And it's sad. I think for some reason I've let the PBC cards affect how I view boxing as a whole, just because it's the most prominent thing here in the States. So for some reason it's subconsciously affecting how I view the sport in general. But I did watch the Frampton fight, and I don't know what to make of Frampton, man, because he really hasn't fought anyone that good, in my opinion. But you see his skill set and you're kind of wowed. But at the same time, if he's going to get dropped twice in the first round like that, I don't see why other fighters in that weight division, especially at 126, because if he's moving up to 126, I can't see him surviving in that weight division, man.
Nah, he won't. I don't think he'll go up there.
I think he will, though, Leon, because I know you guys were mentioning earlier regarding him not being disciplined. I think that's complete bullshit. I think Frampton is as disciplined of a fighter as it gets, but at just some point, you just become physically mature, and you can't really cut down to a specific weight class anymore. So
he's so little.
I know, but he's stocky as fuck, man.
Yeah,
he is very, very densely proportioned. So,
like Canelo, yeah.
No, Canelo's just on a different level, man. Just don't talk about him, all right? That's only for me and Chemo to discuss in our private conversations. So keep out of that, Omada. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough for Frampton because I was so high on Frampton before this fight because I don't know shit about the guy he fought this past Saturday, but like Jesus Christ, even if he fights Nonito, I mean, I'd pick Frampton to win, but like if he gets caught once with the power shot, you know, he might.
Wait, he ain't got glass. Let's not
Yeah,
act
but-
like he was on Queer Street.
No, but Nonito's such a
First
big
round.
puncher.
But he
Yeah,
got
I
dropped
know.
twice.
The first one's not good.
Donaire punches like 50 times harder than that guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
I still say Donaire's second at the division anyway. I said it earlier on the show.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's funny how things change. But I think regarding Quigg, man, I was impressed by Quigg too. And I fucking hated the guy. I called him like the retarded version of Steve-O from Jackass. But I can't really hate on him too much because he beat the shit out of Kiko Martinez. And I don't think Kiko was. I mean, he probably isn't obviously in his prime any longer, but I don't think he was that drastically different of a fighter. So I still give Quigg all the credit in the world. And it's funny because I've seen Quigg whenever him and his team come over to the States. I've seen him train at the wild card, and he doesn't impress you at all. He's just basic as fuck, but he gets shit done, I guess.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say. You know, I'm blessed. I'm just really blessed to be able to call into the show. You know, we only live one life, guys. You know, we all try to make it through this world as young, hungry lions, but you know, at the end of the day, we're only as good as our names are. So that's all I got to say, boys.
All right, thank you, Dan. Chu, anything else you want to talk about before we start getting final thoughts?
Oh, nah, I'm alright.
All right. Kev, you got any final thoughts for us?
Yeah, I don't know. I finally watched boxing this weekend. It wasn't it was a pretty good weekend to watch it. I thought the Frampton fight was fun, but on the news of this whole Mayweather-Berto thing, I just really hope we start getting the fights that we want. Like, there's no reason why a Conor Brooks fight shouldn't happen. Anybody giving anybody an excuse for it is just excusing a duck. Fights got to happen, and hopefully, like Frampton Quigg type fights happen. And if shit like that happened, like, people would accept some like weaker weekends where there's some shit fights because you know you're looking forward to the big payoff in a couple weeks. You know what I mean? And boxing just doesn't have anything to look forward to right now.
Kev, we're only a couple of good fights away from having a really good end to the year because you can have Canelo.
And if those two
Toto,
fights got signed for November, wouldn't it be a huge year?
Yeah, Vlad Fury, and those two fights, we'd all be over the moon, wouldn't we? So not that.
No, I don't know about Vlad Fury. I think that's so many tiers below Canelo versus Cotto.
Yeah, but that's Canelo versus Cotto is a huge fight too. Like, about time that happened.
I know because we got Mayweather versus Pacquiao. I think especially the casual boxing community is kind of jaded in terms of how they view the sport. But just by that fight in a nutshell almost displayed everything that's wrong with the sport. As big of a financial draw as it was, at the same time it kind of showed the other side of just why the
people don't
public
follow
community
the sport.
doesn't take the sport seriously. Yeah. Like, again, you were mentioning earlier, Kimo, about boxers being able to kind of roam freely and behave freely. It's because, at least here in America, no one gives a shit, so no one pays attention to them. So there's no oversight in terms of...
No one recognizes them.
And again, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but the reason why boxing is so fucked up is because the organization is all over the place. There's no unifying governing body, and just no one... As a fan, you can't take it seriously because you just don't know which organization to trust. And I don't know. I just think the more and more removed from it, you kind of see what's really at the problem at the core of it all. So I don't know, man.
Beautiful words, Lim. Beautiful.
Leon, you got any final thoughts for us?
Oh yeah, I didn't make Kovalev by brutal murder on the weekend. I think that could get really ugly very, very quickly. That's it. I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the ring, though. I just hope he gets. I mean, Duva's saying that they're going to make that Ward fight, which if that happens, that's great. I'd rather see that than Triple G Ward personally. Kovalev will.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen at least until next year, like mid next year.
As long as someone's talking about it, I'm happy. As long as there's a chance of it happening,
Yeah.
That would just be a really good
But
fight.
if that doesn't happen until, like, say, next summer, we might get 2 shitty Kovalev fights before then.
And 2 shitty Ward fights. And
exactly. Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah. And that goes back to the problem. We don't get the fights we want when we want. We have to wait fucking a year and a half, and suffer through 2 shit fights,
Yeah.
All right, cheers.
But that's a good fight.
Hamada, any final thoughts?
I told you, man, Hamada shot.
He's looking glassed.
Hamada, any final thoughts, Hamada? He's probably fell asleep. Ari?
Yo.
Oh, there you are. Hamada, you got any final thoughts? No, you have to have some now. If you don't, then it's just wasted all that time.
And still, Joe Gallagher's never trained the world champion.
Hamada's the king of the 30-minute long final thoughts, though. You should actually just pass them by.
Yeah, Hamada's just a hater.
Hamada, a.k.a. One more thing.
Hamada's hating on Sergio. Stop hating on Sergio, Hamada.
Never trained the world champion.
Yeah, there's many years to come yet, bro. Come on.
You don't get knighted that easily.
All right, thank you, Hamada. Dan, I know you jumped on late, but you got any final thoughts for us?
Why are you laughing?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, tell me why you're laughing.
Nothing, man. I'm just building it up. Go ahead.
No, I can't.
I was getting excited in my head already, man. I thought you were.
I can't speak after that kind of laughter. That's disrespectful. move on, Cam.
Because you got the limb name or what?
That's a very powerful name in my country.
Is it actually? Yeah, it probably is actually.
All right, thank you.
You can go on, Cam. I'm through with this kind of shenanigans.
All right, thank you, Lim.
This is bullshit.
Ari, you got any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
All right, Kimo. Last but not least, any final thoughts?
Chocolate brownie. Hey, man. I've really enjoyed this show, guys. This was awesome. It's been a while since I came back on. And I did a proper 3 hours with you guys. All I got to say is September 5th, man. Marching on together. Josh Warrington.
Yo, Kimo, was there a lot of drama, excitement?
It's going to be drama and excitement. But I think we should go to that fight.
Not happening, man.
Come on.
Sold out. It must have been sold out anyway.
I'll fucking take a plane for 6 hours to go see Josh.
Jesus, Kimo, you serious?
I'm trying to stay alive, mate.
Yeah, Kimo, we'll meet you up there.
Oh, shit, man. Imagine I go and I fucking start doing Periscope and shit there. You might see me get killed live on camera.
I'd like that.
I bet they've never seen an Arab in their life, man. It's going to be brutal. No, but I'm excited for that. So, speaking of theater, that's going to be a good atmosphere. So, yeah. It's been good, boys.
Thank you, Kimo, man. Great to have you on. Just want to thank everyone else that was on the line today. Thank the people in the chat, and thanks to the people that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
Dude, man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition.
You're a newbie.
No, I ain't new, man.
If my fucking next door neighbour became the #1 flyweight in the world, you know what I'd do? I'd fucking walk past the cunt.
Derek, how you doing, bro?
I was physically banging, blood.
I disagree.
First time I hear the show, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos Argentina, la concha de su madre. I see the bomb in them.
I get home and she's like, what the fuck? Me and the kid are here. Why don't you get home and talk to us? I'm like, man, you guys don't know shit about boxing.
Kel, how does it feel to be the new IBF champion?
Feels great. Great.
Did we really dive into the black hole right off the jump?
I think he's hiding glass.
Just to play devil's advocate. You want 1 portion of crow or 2 portions of crow?
Give me 2 portions with a supersized fries and a large drink, please.
I can't stand him, what? I'm Scottish.
Cringe sight.
But you won't rush Anthony fucking fat ass Joshua, would you?
He's not fat.
How about you tell us what you weighed for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.